Here we are, and I'm finally back on the Streamlabs desktop. I applied the settings that forget what the guy's name was, but he gave me the recommendations for some settings, so I tried it on the regular OBS, and it worked. So I'm going to try it on Streamlabs OBS and see if it works tonight. So I'm monitoring it to make sure it's going to work. But so I hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing alright. Baby was sick. He's back to normal. Uh, but yeah, everything's all right. And I was gonna start off by playing Armored Core because I have Armored Core 6, and I have to say I enjoy it. I didn't think I would say that about an Armored Core game. I think it's fucking great. I think Armored Core is fucking amazing. Because I remember I used to play Armored Core, back in the day, and it was just always just a little too it was just a little too serious because when I was a kid, I thought I was the only one who liked robot games, right? Because for the younger generation, we used to have arcades where you can go and play like the top of the line games would always be at the arcade. So I remember I would go to the arcade as a kid, and when I say nobody, I mean absolutely nobody would ever be playing the robot games. Like, and I mean, the one of my favorites was Virtual On, right? That was my favorite because you had the twin. It was a cabinet, and you had to control it like that. Like you had to move to the right, move to the left, and turn and all that shit like that, right? And it had the triggers on it. Virtual On is my favorite was my favorite game as a kid. There was always some other kind of robot game, but the number one I remember is Virtual On. But it was always some other one. And the thing was with those robot games, I guess since they always kind of had like a different type of cabinet that you went up to, they were always more expensive. They were always like say 75 cents. Back then, back then, hang on. Error, please use keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. What's it saying right here? Current keyframes. Hang on. I'm getting a message, which can cause buffering. Okay. So let me know if the videos is all right, because I got some warning on Facebook. I don't know, but it looks like it's moving all right on my end. So I'll keep going unless it like fucks up, and I'll try to. Let me copy this just real fast. Okay. All right. Yeah. So back to what I was saying. So yeah, so I used to love robot games, but they were always more arcadey. But the thing was like the robot games back in the day, like I mean nobody, I was always the only kid playing. Like it would always be like the empty part of the arcade. Nobody, probably because they were also like I could say between 75 cent. I remember it going all the way up to about like at worst I think like $2 or $3, but like on average the worst would be like $1.50. But back then like most games would run you most low tier games would be 25 cent. Most like average to above average will be 50 cents, and then anything above that was like the premium shit, like 75 cents, or just something really different that wasn't like anything else at all. Now, some of them could be shit, and others could be great, right? Um, but yeah, so when I would play, so I was introduced to robotic games by arcade style, right? So when I remember when Armored Core came, I don't remember when it came out exactly, but I remember knowing about it, and I remember I wanted to play it, and when I finally got it, it was just too serious. Like I just couldn't like it because I was introduced to robots again by by the twin sticks and all that shit, and it was arcade. It was this sound system in the at the cabinet. It just hit you totally different. It was amazing, right? So I remember yeah, when I want to play Armored Core, I tried it. I just didn't like it. It was just too quiet. It was just too serious, right? As a kid, I was a kid back then. Maybe like 10, something like that. I wanted something loud and you know, energetic, right? It was just too serious. So the only robot game that I can remember that clicked with me that was like more like robot was Zone of the Enders. Zone of the Enders was by far the best robot game that I can remember from my time. Right? It says its stream set is poor, but it looks fine on my end. Let me see. I'm gonna try to look it up on my phone. to make sure it's right. Make sure it's not lagging too bad. Anders was legitimately. Yeah, looks fine. Okay, looks fine on my end. Yeah, Zone of the Enders was like, but Zone of the Enders was like more arcade. It was just more flashy and all that. It wasn't serious. Your loadout really didn't matter. Like you could still lose, but your loadout really didn't matter. It was just more about how it looked, and it was more the story was more important. Where Armored Core, from what I remember as a kid, I just never really knew. I never really, when I was a kid, I just wasn't in that demographic. I think for Armored Core, like where it was targeted, because I just never, from my memories of Armored Core when I was a kid, I just never really knew what was going on. I remember at the time they looked great at the time, but I just never knew what the fuck was going on. It was just too many controls to do like basic shit. I just had no idea what to do. I think I was just too young. I'll just chalk it up to that. I was too young. But yeah, I'm playing Armored Core 6, and I'm loving it. I'm stuck right now. I'm at the end of Chapter 1, and I'm stuck at the first boss. At the last boss of the first part of Chapter 1. I'm stuck. I was stuck on the first boss for a while. I finally beat him. Now I'm stuck on the last boss. He's got kind of like this, like the Pandora's box from Devil May Cry. Like that kind of like, I don't know, it's like this... It looks like that weapon from Devil May Cry 4 where Dante would like kind of like fly in and shoot the missiles from. I don't know what that's called, but I'm stuck on that part now. But I love it. And I was really trying to think, like, why is it that I don't like Bloodborne or like Demon Souls or Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring? Because I have Elden Ring too. And like, as always, I've never felt the need to go back and play it, right? Whenever I play a Bloodborne or anything, I just never felt the drive to go back and play it. And I was trying to think to myself, like, why don't I have the urge? Like, how come I don't like, Souls games or Bloodborne, like that style, Souls-like games? Like, why? I tried playing Mortal Shell. Same thing. I played it for 20 minutes and then never went back to it again. Not that it was like, it's going to be hard because they make their games difficult. I was really trying to figure out why. And I figured out why. Because the Souls games it's just too much dread. It's just too much dread. It's just this constant sense. It's like this monotone dread. It's just constant. It's just this severely monotone dread, and it's not bad. Like here's the thing. Like I think Bloodborne looks great, and even though I make fun of it because like I don't think the players move right, I respect them for what they are. Right? I respect I respect them for doing what they do. Now, in my opinion, I think Bloodborne, all that shit is just PlayStation 1 with just updated graphics, and people just went crazy for it. Because I think it's still just not polished. It's like it doesn't look the best, that type of shit. I mean, it looks great in its own way, but it's just not polished. It's stiff, but I can respect it. But the main reason why I don't like it, I think, is because it's just too depressing, right? Like it's just too depressing for me. Because I played through Celeste, and I never thought I would have played through that. Because I made it a goal of mine to play through like a game that's known to be difficult. I never went back to Sekiro since I stopped the last time I played it. It's just I just don't like that constant sense of dread. I think that's really it. It's the constant sense of just like I can't remember exactly where I left on Elden Ring. I was running through some like little mini forest or something like that, and I kept hearing this dude say, "Hey, you, look at me over here," and I'm like looking for this motherfucker. I can't find him. Luckily, I had my earplugs in, right, so I could tell if he was to the left or right. So I was able to pinpoint he was like right in front of me. But then as soon as I turned, he beat to the left, so he was in a tree. I found him. The good part was at least that character was like, he was in a different mood, right? But the thing it's just the constant sense of dread. Like there's no sense of just changing a mood. Like just give me something different. Elden Ring, From Salt. Like it's this constant sense of dread. So when I talked to the dude, he was actually a cool dude. He said, "Oh, I'll give you something worth payment, but you got to clean out this cave." Like, yo, I already know what it's gonna be in the cave. It's gonna be some starving, hungry, disgusting looking monsters or some disgusting soldiers that are level 950, and here I am, level 2 with a level 3 sword. I already know what it's gonna be, right? So like I have no drive to even go look and see what it's gonna be because I already know it's depressing shit. Right? Like I get it. Like that's just my issue with the whole with FromSoft with every Souls-like game. It's not to me. Okay, I respect you if you like it, but to me, I just don't find any fun in that. Right? It's just not fun. You got to put some more effort into into making me guess what's gonna happen next, right? Like, because here's the thing, I've been playing roguelikes for a while. Wrote them like Hades and Dead. I finally played Dead Cells. I really enjoyed that. Like that whole sense of like, every time you go in, it's something different kind of thing. Like it's the same game, but every time you turn on, like you die, you come back. What's my Rogue Legacy 2? I'm playing that. Like I really enjoy the roguelike games. It's just like where I fade out is when like, okay, it's like the same shit every fucking time I walk up in here. Like I'm not, and on top of that, like Elden Ring literally just copied Breath of the Wild, just made it dark, and they couldn't escape. Like it's just, again, maybe they definitely have their own following, and I'm glad they do. I'm glad people do enjoy it because that can lead to further evolution, down the line. But for me, I have no drive to even turn Elden Ring back on. None. Because I already know what's going to be. What is it? Like, motherfucker, it's the same shit. Right? I know what I'm getting ready to see. On top of that, it's one of them games you got to figure out the boss's pattern because you're going to get your ass beat for the first 5 times you walk in there. Right? Like it's like mix it up, dude. Like you even copied Breath of the Wild and it's still the same shit. It's still, like Elden Ring is literally just Zelda Dark Souls edition. That's all it is. Like I don't see like what the great fucking big deal about it. I played it for maybe an hour or two. I mean, I had fun mostly because it was Zelda Elden Ring edition, Zelda Dark Souls edition, but for that aspect of like exploring, I know what you're gonna see next. I enjoyed it for that, but like the core, what they do, I just don't find it fun. I just don't find it's just this monotone sense of just depression. I just don't care for it. But I'm playing Armored Core. I got it on right now on the screen next to me. I'm playing Armored Core. I'm getting my ass beat by that first boss, but it's fun though. Like it's fun. Like it actually like Armor, I would recommend Armored Core, but the thing is, like, it does have a bit of that FromSoft shit for when you do make it to, I think, when you make it to, like, a boss, like, you're just going to get, like, okay, I pretty much had a breeze through all of Chapter 1. I think I died twice along the way. I mean, over maybe, like, 10 missions. Some missions are very easy. I think they really just serve as tutorials, but some missions are, like, extremely easy. Some are, like, all-right, and then some are, like, kind of difficult, like, a few of them, I was getting ready to die, and I just figured out how to beat the boss. Like, literally, I had, like, one more hit left, and I would have died, and I figured it out, and I was able to beat the boss and beat the stage and, and continue. But I only died, like, I didn't have to change my loadout or anything, so I got to the bosses, and I had to change my loadout. But even with getting my ass kicked, like, I'm not, like I want to turn Armored Core back on and go back in and try to figure it out, right? Like, I want to go back, right? Because Armored Core, like, it has this sense of like you never really know what you're gonna see next. Like, I mean, it is a bit predictable, but it's like Elden Ring is just too predictable. I just don't care. I just don't care for the Bloodborne, none of that, because I already know what it's gonna be, right? Some motherfuckers oppressed, depressed, beaten down, struggling, and sad. It's gonna be the same shit. Okay, what's your problem now? Sarah by the bridge. Let me guess. Your family got killed by somebody, and you alone, and somebody blocking the gold you need to buy some food. Now I got to go kill level 95 motherfuckers while I'm level 3 with a fucking pickup stick in my hand. That's what the mission's gonna be, and now I got to learn how to dodge. Like I just don't like Souls-like games. I think they're just terrible games. It's just I think they're awful. Like, I want to try Lies of P. Lies of P is coming out on Game Pass, I think, like in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm gonna give that a shot. I'll give Lies of P, even though it's a Souls like, so it's just that same old eternal monotone depression. I'm gonna try it, and I'm pretty sure what I'm going. I'm gonna just play it for about an hour and then turn it off and never touch it again. I'm pretty sure of it. What's up, Oliver Biscuit? We talking Elden Ring, Curtis Jackson. Yeah, yeah. I just don't care for it, man. Like I think I I think Elden Ring. Okay, here's the thing. For every area that I like Elden Ring is literally why I like Zelda, right? Like, there's nothing that Elden. Well, I only played for an hour or two, but even with that, like, because I played, I never beat a Souls or Bloodborne game, but you pretty much get the gist of it within the first hour. Right, like, so everything even though I did like, I mean, I genuinely found interest when I like got out there and I was in the world. I didn't know where to go first, and I seen these trees up. At first I felt genuine interest, but all of that is the every reason why I liked Elden Ring was why I liked Zelda Breath of the Wild, right? And or Tears of the Kingdom is pretty much the same shit, especially in that regard. They just like throw you out in the world and you're just there and you just go, right? That's just it. No, they don't tell you nothing, just figure it out. Right. But I just don't care for Elden Ring. I just don't think it's a good. And then the fact that they literally just copied Breath of the Wild and then just made it Breath of the Zelda Breath of the Wild Soul Dark Souls edition. Like I just don't. I think it's a. I think it's a bad game. I think it's a bad game because of that. Because of they literally it's literally just Zelda Dark Souls edition. That's seriously all it is. I like the Elden Ring, but I get the criticism about Dark Souls. Yeah, it's just too. Here's the thing, August Line. If it wasn't just like eternally depressing, if they could like mix it up, at least mix up the mood a little bit or something, I could probably get with it. And, you know what I mean? And if I had some drive, you know what I mean? Like, I could tell the story wouldn't be, it's not going to be half bad. I could tell that from how far I made it because a little bitch came and talked to me when I sat down. And, you know what I mean? Like I could tell the story wouldn't be too bad. Here's the thing, like this, I could tell the story's probably not too terrible. It's probably pretty good if I had to guess, just by the first hour or two that I seen. The music for what it is really good. The setting, I think the setting's great. The artwork and the statues and the broken down buildings and the how just like the big gold trees, and I think all that's great. But it's just this constant depression that I just don't want to like. Elden Ring is like dealing with a depressed bitch, right? Like a seriously depressed woman, right? Like it looks good, but I never want to ever talk to you ever again. Like no matter how good no matter how good the woman looks, I don't want to talk to her ever again. Like, and I can look back and say, yeah, she is beautiful. Had a little fun looking at her. Maybe playing through one or two of her little depression things, but I don't want to sit up. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go out my way to go hang out with this. And That's where Elden Ring fits, or any of them. The Bloodborne game, because I'm pretty sure I bought Bloodborne and sold it not long after I bought it. Like for what it does, it looks great. It runs great. It's a great atmosphere and it's, it sucks you in. But like it's just like for me, it just doesn't fit me. I think it's a bad game. In terms of trying to keep me coming back to it. LMAO, you're right, but I think the doom and gloom mood from Saw View is not a bug. It's the feature. Yeah, Curtis Jackson. Yeah, you're right. It's the feature. That's the feature. Because I think if it wasn't for that doom and gloom, like motherfuckers would see through those horrible controls real quick. They're not horrible. They're just bad to awkward with the whole like taking time to hit a motherfucker and all that shit. Like if it wasn't for that doom and gloom, I think more people would see through it far quicker and leave. All right. Now I'll tell you a game that has horrible controls is Ghost Runner. I played that and it's a difficult game. Now if you Google Ghost Runner and watch it, you'll be like, oh, that game ain't hard. I mean, it's just the first person shooter and this motherfucker walking around with a sword. You'd be like, that shit ain't hard. And then you fuck around and play it. The controls are 80% of the difficulty, right off the bat because they're just horribly awkward. The controls I say for the game Ghost Runner, which is it's a difficult game. The controls are 70 to 80% of the difficulty you're going to face, and just having aim bots to just so where you can only beat a mission essentially one way kind of thing. That's the rest of the difficulty, right? Now, I mean, now I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if it was just the aim bots, but the controls were, anywhere near decent. But I wouldn't be mad if it was that. But it's the controls that just infuriated me. Like, it was just awful. Because I think I made it through the first part with like 28 deaths, I think. Which I think was like, when I looked up other people on YouTube, like, they had way more than I did. So I did relatively pretty great. Like with Sifu, when I made it to when I first made it to the second level's boss, that like where it's like this ridiculous EA level difficulty spike, I was 28 years old on my first playthrough, and out of being 28, I say a good 3 or 4 of those deaths were like bullshit, like the camera got stuck and I got popped when I probably could have made it out type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, or I got popped and then I kind of got in its own way, kind of stun locked in a certain situation. I just got popped from 5 different angles and lost a big piece of my health type of shit. Something like that, right? But I did pretty good in Sifu on my first run through because other people, I was looking at other people on their first run through and they was like 35, 40 by the time they made it to that second level boss. But I was under 30 when I made it there on my first, because if you play Sifu like Batman. Batman mixed with Midnight Fight Express, I think the name of that, which is a great game, by the way. And then that's an indie game. If you play like that, like you pretty much got most of Sifu down. But yeah. Elden Ring is like dating a seriously depressed bitch. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. Again, I love it with Elden Ring. I love the art. I love the setting, the art style, the creativity, and just a little bit that I made it through. I thought it was great, but it's just that constant sense of doom and gloom that I don't want to go back to it, and I'll probably force myself to go back to it, maybe at a later date, but I know I'm not gonna finish it. It's just too depressing, and like I said. I think that if it wasn't for the doom and gloom setting, I think more people would see through it that it's just not a good game and would leave. But I think that setting is kind of like, for example, like Nier Automata. That's one of my favorite games. Is Nier Automata, right? Now Nier Automata is kind of like there's a similar sense of polish with Nier Automata like Bloodborne, like it's not very polished. Right, like some parts are just is if you were to just see it, like you would be like, oh, this is just a regular Japanese game with low polish, but it looks good when it just sits still kind of shit. But the thing with Nier Automata is the story. If you like that kind of story, is really good. The music is just one of a kind. When you hear that music and you get it, nobody else has music like that. So if it's not the music that's holding you over, it's a part of the intricate storyline. If it's not the intricate storyline, then you're fighting some Megazord sized boss, or some boss is just saying some philosophical shit, or you're seeing something that's randomly happening, like with a boss that you're like, what the fuck is going on with this? Like Nier Automata had many other things work. So for me, I can since I love Nier Automata, I can understand how somebody can love Bloodborne, the Souls-like games, because they if it's not one part of it, I guess there's the art style can keep you hooked, and when the art style falls off, then maybe the music can keep you hooked. So it's like it's not just one thing. So I can understand how somebody can like Souls-likes. I don't. I think they're just awful games. I started that series Severance you was talking about. You on episode 5? Oh, you made it past me, Levon. I'm on episode, I think, 4. But yeah, the theory of it's pretty crazy. Yeah. I think we're not too far away from that. I recommend anybody at least give the first episode a chance. Because I'm usually not into those Netflix, Apple TV shows kind of thing, but I got sick and I had always wanted to watch it. because I had seen it and I got sick, so I gave it a chance and ended up really liking it. But yeah, I don't think we're too far away. I think we're more far away on a political level than a scientific level with something like that happening, for sure. August line, yeah, I agree. Yeah, games are supposed to be fun, yeah. But Armor Core has that proper sense of fun while being like difficult, right? And this is where I left off talking about video games one day last week. I gave unpopular opinion that the beginning of Zelda is actually harder than any Souls game, right? And the reason why I say that is when you start out Zelda, you literally have your underwear and that's it. And you got like it's not quite survival, but it's like you have no way to defend yourself and you got to go grab a stick to fight, right? You can't get a shield, nothing, right? So in Zelda, you can get one shotted, maximum two shotted when you first. So the whole first part of Zelda is just you just running away from everything, right? Because you can't beat anybody. You know what I mean? Um, but with Armored Core, the difficulty is like it's in my opinion, it's pretty much right in the middle, right? Because with Souls games are set up to where like it's like that punishing difficulty. And it's punishing, in my opinion, not just because it's strictly the life, but just how the player just how he moves and how you attack. Like everything's just like this telegraph between you and the bad guy kind of thing. And it's just like really so if you make like a wrong timing to try to punch, half life, right? If you make one more timing that's just poor timing, a third life. You better heal, motherfucker. Like it's just whap. That's it, right? And I think it's more awkward because of just. I mean, Zelda, Link moves a bit weird too. I'm not gonna act like the combat's great in there because it's totally not in Zelda. But he does move efficient enough to when if you trying to run away and get out of here, you can run away and get out. Most times you can do it, right? Whereas in Dark Souls, this motherfucker has to take a whole goddamn half circle run to get out the room type shit. And no, I'm just well, not I'm exaggerating, but I just don't like I just don't like from the Souls like I think they're just bad games, man. It's just I think it's just bad games. I finished Severed in 2 days after you mentioned it. Oh, word up. I'm only on episode four or five, I think. But yeah. AD in Seattle grunge 90s flannel. Yeah. We actually catch a stream from the beginning. Yo, I hope it works because I tried fixing the settings on the Streamlabs OBS, so I hope it works fine. I'm gonna start the video in a minute. But it says, "Hey bro," the guy says, "Hey bro, do you feel Viveka Ramaswamy should be preferred over Trump for 2024 elections?" I honestly don't care either way, and I don't even know who that is. I have no idea who that even is. So sorry, I can't answer that. But yeah, so that's my rant on video games. I got Armored Core on right here. I finished all the arenas. Um, but like I said, I strongly recommend. I don't say strongly recommend it because even with that, like it is a FromSoft game, so it's like when you get to a boss, like you more times than not, I think you're gonna have to like redo your whole setup and like figure out what would be a good setup to try to fight the boss next. And on top of that, I think okay, but it's a bit easier because the checkpoints are relatively generous. Like you don't always have to restart the whole mission unless you just need a weapon that you haven't bought from the store. Then you gotta like restart the whole mission because you gotta get out the actual game to go to the store and buy like the shotgun or whatever. Because if you didn't already buy it, if you die in a mission, it gives you the option to change your loadout from that checkpoint on, and you get all your life back and everything. So it is definitely generous, but at the same time, it has to have that formula of you're gonna die you're gonna eventually come across a boss that you're gonna die a lot on, and that's where the FromSoft part of them comes out. Because in every other aspect, it's pretty much like just a regular arc. I say it leans more towards the arcade of like robot games, like more. It leans more towards kind of Zone Enders slash Virtua On, where you just kind of like you're constantly just kind of like running to the left or running to the right and just shooting everybody type of shit. But it feels more arcadey to me like that. The only things that you have to, weapons can overheat or you got to reload, and they can take, a decent amount of time when you're under stress. But yeah, I could recommend it. Especially if you can play a Dark Souls, a Souls like. If you can play a Souls like and you like robots, I don't see how you wouldn't like this game. I'm sure somebody out there probably, they could find a reason why. But I don't see how somebody could. I don't see how you could not like. I don't see how you could not like this Armored Core game. Well, don't spoil anything, Oliver. You say you finished it in 2 days. Oh, what did I just do? What's this? Okay, I'm gonna start the video. Is that good? Yeah. So hopefully this live stream will work out. Let me check to make sure I'm still sounding good and everything. Yeah. I was gonna try to play it for the first 20 minutes because I'm stuck on this boss now. But yeah. Oh, real quick, and I'm gonna start the video. Because I was watching reviews on Armored Core, and the reviewers, like the mainstream reviewers, they were getting stuck on like the well, not the first boss is like this helicopter. Now, to be honest, I beat that by luck because like I still don't even know how I beat that. So but the next boss is like this kind of tank where like the front of them is like armor, so you got to get behind them. So that mission starts out, you get a teammate that can distract the tank so you can hit it from behind, right? You can, sword it or whatever. Well, halfway through the mission, the teammate leaves and you're just stuck with the tank. And so you don't have anybody to distract it. Now, a lot of reviewers had a lot of problems with that. Like, that was a major complaint from a lot of reviewers. I died only one time on that. And the reason why I think I did better was because luckily I had a decent loadout. I had the sword, which is like very strong in that time of the game. It's very strong. So all I did was just fly above him, and I had these missiles. Okay, so in the game you can shoot missiles. It's Armored Core, right? But it's like the different types of missiles, right? So you can have you have two different types of missiles on your back. So what I ran with for the majority of the first chapter of the game was my left missiles shot directly at them, and the right missiles were like anti-defense. Like they would like shoot up and shoot behind and hit like on top of them. Like so if a bad guy was holding a shield, it would just hit him in the head and the shield didn't do anything, right? So like, or if I'm like standing behind a wall and I hit my radar and I can see a bad guy on the other side of that wall, well, I shoot those missiles up and they would go over the wall and hit him, right? So for the first chapter of the game, it was pretty fucking easy for the most part. So when I was left alone with that boss, I just like flew. I just made sure I just tried to either dodge or just fly above him and just land behind him and just like shoot homing missiles at him until he got stun locked and just like swipe his back with the sword. And I did pretty well. Like I said, I didn't die much until now. I'm at the end of chapter 1, and now I'm just, my deaths are just like stacking up. But like I was pretty good the whole first chapter for sure. But yeah, so that's it for Armored Core. Anyway, if you like Souls-like or anything that has a difficult challenge but has a good presentation, people complain about the graphics. I don't see anything wrong with them. I don't think they're bad. They're not the best looking, best, but they definitely are far from bad. I'm getting about 50, 60 frames per second. I don't have any issue with the graphics at all. But yeah. So yeah, that's Armored Core. If anybody has any question, hit me. Definitely ask me about it. So yeah, let's just.
I'm 36 and I've never been married, so I've never met the one. Even though I've never met this guy, I think about him. What is he like? Where does he live? What does he do? I'm thinking he's got to be pretty special, right? But I don't think we should hype up our soulmates. this much because I've been waiting my entire life to meet this one man. And I'm not trying to sound mean, but I know he's not going to be worth the wait. I'm sure he's a nice guy, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's just going to be some guy named Greg in a graphic tee. If someone pointed at Greg and said, Leslie, you get to marry this man, but you have to wait 36 years, I wouldn't even get in line.
Well, no, yeah, she's totally right. Especially, okay, from a woman's perspective, she's 1,000% right, because that's how woman's nature is, for sure. Yeah, she's 1,000% right. It's never gonna, like, a woman always has to, because that's a woman's path in life. She's always gonna either somebody's gonna settle for her, or she's gonna have to settle. And for a woman, that's terrible. Men don't really care a lot, you know, but for women, that's a major thing. It's that social status thing for women. She's totally right. She mentioned if she had to wait till she's 36 to find a man, like, the man's not going to be worth the wait. I agree 1,000%. Not for her, because, okay, you gotta, from the age of roughly 15, she can get pretty much any dick she's going to ever want, as long as she just doesn't get fat and, you know, looks like she can figure out how to apply soap and water together. You know, she's going to get any dick she wants. So by the time she hits 36, she will have experienced so much different cock and so many different characteristics and combinations with said cock that she's going to create, at 36, she now has created this mythological man in her head that doesn't exist, right? No man, very, very few men are going to live up to that, to what she has in her head of what she thinks she wants now, right? But here's the sad part is, even if she does find a man who, looking back on her history of sucking cock, has Derek's money, John's car, Randall's 401k, Billy's family money, Johnson's mansion. But by the time she puts all that together in one man, that man is not going to want a 36-year-old woman. There's a great chance he's not going to want, or she's not going to, like, by the time she finds a man who has all those attributes of all the best men that she's sucked throughout her life, that is a unicorn man that she's looking for, right? Now, unicorns do exist in this context, but okay, what's the odds that this man who is so great is going to want a 36-year-old woman who couldn't keep a man for roughly 20 years of her dating life, right? So I agree with her 1,000%. He's the man who she's going to end up marrying is not going to compare to what she wants.
I'd wait half an hour tops for someone like Greg.
Oh, we're comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game. Married at 18, divorced at 21. Second marriage, married at 25, divorced at 28. Third engagement, engaged at 29, ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing. It is paperwork. It's something, it's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go. You gotta go. You have to go. I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your fucking life. Do you want to be stuck with someone? Period.
That is terrible marital advice. Also, that's not what the word sanctimonious means.
Jimmy, I love your question. What changed your perspective? Well, honestly, I was in a really dark place and I didn't like who I was becoming. I didn't like that person. I basically hit rock bottom at one point in my life. And from then, I started to love myself. I started to read more. I started to inform myself more, listen to podcasts, being aware of everything that I listen to, who I surround myself with. I completely changed my life there and completely changed my habits, therefore completely changed myself. And so by learning that the clubs isn't a place where it helps you elevate, it's not helping me get any better unless you're going to the clubs for like a networking event or for like some type of business, then I completely understand. But if you're just doing it to party and have fun and just distract yourself and not really deal with your problems, then that is unhealthy. So me realizing this key aspect that going to the clubs for me was unhealthy. I was literally just using going to the clubs as a coping mechanisms instead of facing with my problems. So yeah, I was in a really dark place. Hope that answered your question.
A really dark
yeah,
place.
Just being honest with myself and realizing that the clubs just ain't it.
I was in a really dark place. What a really dark place means means I was sucking random cock at Mars because because as long as I sucked cock, men didn't have to actually hear me talk and figure out how stupid I was and then leave me. That's the definition of a really dark place. A really dark. Let me tell you something. See, dumb motherfuckers always like to try to add in-depth in they like to try to add in-depth sounding intelligence to their situation, right? Like dumb motherfuckers always love to do that shit. Right? They love to try to make themselves sound better and all this shit like that. No. I was in a bad place, meaning okay, dumb bitch in these translations. Oh, I was in a bad place, means I was using simps to get money to buy makeup to go impress men in bars and clubs, so I can hopefully be picked to suck their cock in the bathroom or in the back seat of my Isuzu, some shit like that. And, and while I was doing it, deep down I knew it wouldn't really lead anywhere, but I was just hoping that I can turn Future into Russell Wilson and he would buy my makeup and I could, in my dream world, sit under him and make him Future and Russell Wilson at the same time. At the exact minute that I wanted him to be Future or Russell Wilson. It don't work like that. See, that's what dumb bitchinese I was in a dark place means. That's what that means. What's up, Mr. Smith? Why do humans treat monogamy like it's a religion? Why put your utmost faith into a random person? Are we that pathetic? Just go fuck a hooker and live your life. Yeah. That's a deep topic. That's a deep topic. I had to go on another rant about that. But that's a deep topic.
But yeah, just
alive to name 3 women they admire and aspire to be like who aren't family.
Why do we do this bullshit? Why do we do this? Do you know why they can't answer that? I'm going to answer. You know why. You strategically slipped in that little bit. Just stop acting like you didn't strategically slip in that little bit. Who do you admire? Fair question. Who do you aspire to be like? You know why they can't answer that? Because they probably don't aspire to be like any women. They probably aspire to be like other men. Just like as women, we do the same thing. Whatever gender you are or identify as, you are typically looking to someone of that same gender to be the person that you aspire to be. I guarantee if you ask any woman, especially the angry beanie-wearing feminist kind, what man do you aspire to be like, they will laugh in your face. We can admire people, but aspiring to be like them, that is setting them up for that gotcha moment. Of course, they couldn't answer that question.
Ask men 3 women that they admire. Take off that last part, and I bet you get different responses.
Okay. Now this is another area that's pretty deep too, right? So she's saying is based on the gender. See, and this is why you just can't listen to women for not very much advice in life, especially on a philosophical standpoint, especially when it comes to genders, right? So at some point, a man is he's gonna admire another man for, he's gonna admire another man to want to be like the man, right? Okay, there is nothing about, unless a man wants to cross dress or some shit like that, there's nothing about a woman in her character that is ever very admirable, like in the sense of like, I want to be like you so I can succeed as man, right? Like there's not very many traits in a woman that I would look at and be like, yeah, like what's her name, Jessica the prequel 2. There is not going to be any traits in just the prequel 2 where I could watch her do something like, with her character and be like, yeah, I can't find a man who could do this better than you, who I would rather want to be like above you, right? There's nothing, right? Now I could say is she did something admirable, for one reason or another, but there is when she's breaking down on a gender level, there is nothing about a woman. There is historically, and not just since the last 50 years, 100 years, I'm talking from 1,000 years ago and before that. There historically, right, is nothing that men would look at women and be like, you know what, we should try to do that and become better as men in the world, right? You know who does that? Faggots do that. Right? Gay motherfuckers do that, right? And from the eyes of a woman, right? I'm using faggot as like a negative context right now because that's how a woman will see you. Okay, if I was to go to just the prequel 2 and I start acting like a bitch because I think that's gonna better my life, she is gonna look at me and say, what is this faggot doing? In a negative, in her head, that's what she's gonna say, right? Now to flip it, okay, the reject women, right? Which every woman's gonna end up a reject woman, right? Every woman is gonna end up in that category for one reason or another, right? Every single woman, from the Home Depot girl to Beyonce, they all of them gonna end up there one reason. Anna de Armas, whatever her name is, all of them are gonna end up the reject woman in time, right? Because the only thing that's keeping them out of being a reject is the fact that she could be beautiful for a little while, right? But all of them gonna end up there, right? But here's the thing: when a woman looks at a man, she can go, oh, I need to be more brave because no other women can do what you do as a man. No other woman can do what a man does, right? So it behooves women to be like, yeah, you know what? I think I want to work and earn my own money now. I don't want to sit around and wait for men to give me something, right? So, I mean, but even then, it's just it's a pathetic hobby at best for most women. Right? Most women don't really want to do it for the long term. They just want to work as a hobby or to prove somebody wrong for 5 minutes, right? But with that being said, like women look at men and try to and they try to pretend. Okay, women try to simulate the same values, right? So when it comes to this whole situation of women putting value in how many men they can get and all that. See, that is a clear sign that women have no fucking idea about reality at all, right? Because, okay, for a man to go out there and get a bunch of bitches, that is an accomplishment, right? But for a bitch to go out there and get a bunch of dicks, that's nothing, right? All you gotta do is just draw a picture of your face. Just draw a woman can literally just write "fuck me" 5555555 and take the picture and put it on Tinder, and I bet you motherfuckers be calling that shit, right? That's not an accomplishment for you. Nothing. See, so when it comes to the differences of gender, right? and what would behoove which gender to become better. You know, what would help out that gender to become better? Oh, it's hands down. No, like woman, you only become anything because you have man to measure yourself up to. That's literally it. If it wasn't for men, you would just all die off in a fucking jungle. Well, the Bear Grylls episode, you would just literally die. Right?
Otherwise, you're gonna get a lot of stuttering and blank staring because they can't think of any women they aspire to be like. Like we don't have any men we aspire to be like. But
No, that was the whole reason behind the feminist movement. That you want everything about a woman. Literally the makeup that she's wearing in this video, in this TikTok, is hoping that a desirable man will see her and say she's cute. Everything about a woman's existence is either to be accepted by men or try to compete with men because she can't compete with other women in getting men, right? Everything. That's it, right? The only time a woman wants to work is once she's figured out, okay, a man's not going to come and take care of me and all this. So now I got to work. Now I want more money and like that's what it comes out. Again, see, you don't see Victoria's Secret models out there fighting for equal wages and all that shit. You don't see young, beautiful women out there fighting for all that. Because see, them young, beautiful women, they can fuck around and suck the right dick and be taken care of for the rest of their life still. But see, once they fall into this category, she is very low chance she can do that. So now it's the whole, see, this philosophical, who do we aspire to be? Hey, I bet you this Home Depot girl ain't sitting up talking about that shit. Home Depot girl ain't sitting up talking about, well, you know, Nietzsche said, no, fuck Nietzsche. I look cute. Fuck off me. Girl, I need some more eyelash. I need some more eyelashes. I look cute. Ain't that funny? How, you know, ain't that funny? How Sports Illustrated models, you know, when a woman is winning as a woman, she don't care about the right to vote, equal wages, work rights. She don't give a fuck about nothing. Starving children. None of, she don't give a fuck about any of that. Because she's cute. She's cute. And as long as she's cute, she'll find some man to worry about all that.
But they also know that this is a culture where you're going to be in there and be like, I gotcha. You're misogynistic. If misogyny exists as hard as you think it does, then why are you setting up these moments? Why are you manufacturing these moments that are going to clearly work to your advantage to twist it into your narrative?
Well, okay. The ancient Greeks were documented to be misogynists, right? Historically, women have been documented to be seen as to be seen as fat and cowardly. I bet you women don't know that. I bet you most society doesn't know that. This isn't anything new. Do you see? Okay, see, here's the thing with the misogyny thing is that women fucked around and forgot they place in society over the last, I say, 100 years. I say, 70 years. Women fucked around and forgot the reality, right? And the reason why women forgot the reality is because men went out there and made laws to do what? Protect women. Women with the attention span of a gnat completely forgot all that, and now they think they can actually measure up to some shit, right? Historically, women are documented as being lesser. That's why motherfuckers knew not to give women anything of value because they ain't gonna do nothing but burn it to the ground, right? That was the whole purpose for the first wave of feminism was because women wanted some. Okay, women wanted some sense of property. Women wanted property. And two, women wanted to be paid for. Okay, the first step was women wanted to be paid for giving birth. Right, they wanted to be paid for sitting at home with the kid, giving birth and sitting at home with the kids. That should be a paid job because the woman's argument for the reason why feminism initially started was because they could never own anything for themselves, right? Now, ask yourself this question. Since women were so fucking smart, great, independent, why didn't women get up and just go make their own country somewhere else and let in the men that they wanted to let in and make their own laws? Why did they never ever do that? Why do they always sit underneath men and beg, patiently wait and beg and scream for men to give them something? Because historically they're pathetic. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but it is what it is. To be woman is to be prostitute, and to be woman is to wait for a handout. Right? There is no point in history where women got up and went 50 miles that way and said, yeah, we're going to make our own shit and we're going to let in the men that we think are doing right. No. Woman is never going to do that. Woman would much rather sit down and wait for man to give her something. And she'll do anything. She'll cut her tits. She'll cut her face. She'll put Fix-A-Flat in her ass cheeks. Anything. She'll do anything for it. Because biologically, she knows that she can't survive on her own. Right? So she has to find whatever way that she can lie, trick, whatever the fuck, to be able to stay underneath a man's resources. Because historically speaking, you would have a better chance teaching a monkey how to cook pancakes than having a woman who can genuinely get up and build her own shit and be happy with it. You would have a more logical attempt at training a chimp to be your housemaid and cook you breakfast every morning than having a woman become something genuinely of anything admirable in terms of human survival.
Don't say that's not what you're doing. Don't be obtuse. Stop.
The August line. Understanding the truth about female nature is not misogyny. Yeah. Again, when the ancient Greeks documented women as fat and cowardly, it wasn't to be mean. It was just stating the obvious, and you just move on. Nobody was mad about it. I mean, it just is. Like, again, when I say women are pathetic, I don't say it to be mean. I'm just saying it because that's just the reality of it. Like, it's pathetic. Like, women are the pathetic ones. Historically speaking. Again, women forget where they came from. See, the only reason women can even get up and talk is because men let women do it. And see, women forgot all that. See, because those laws that men made, again, let women get up and feel like they can get up and talk shit. And men talk themselves, oh, okay, I guess I believe it. I guess I'll let her talk. Maybe I am misogynist. Maybe I am mad, be evil. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only reason. You know what I mean? Because if shit got real, right? Well, look at the Bear Grylls, whatever his name is, that episode. And you threw women and men in a jungle without laws and let them men start getting too hungry and then switched over to cannibalism. What are the women really gonna do to fight off them men? Like, men will literally eat women alive, literally, when pushed. Because the women ain't gonna be able to fight off the men. That grown man strip fuck around and click on, them bitches are done. Well, would you like my thigh medium rare? I get some of the fat out of it. I got more meat in my left thigh because I've been doing squats on accident. Men will literally eat women alive, dude. Like, the women forget they fucking place and all this. I mean, again, because men set up welfare, set up all this shit so women can have, a way to survive. Now, women have tricked themselves into thinking that they're actually independent. After what women are independent because men allow them to be independent. Like, the whole thing is so fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, it's so unbelievably stupid. It's so unbelievably ridiculous. And here's the thing. No woman can fight that argument. No woman can fight it. Once you spell it out like that. The only reason woman is independent is because men allow it. Because, again, if a man goes walking down the street, right, and he see a woman that got a purse, well, okay. Well, let's go through this. What is a woman really gonna do to stop a man from robbing her? And really, let's really think about it, right? So, in reality, most women will just give the guy the purse and just try to run away, type of thing, right? Because most women, they say they'll do a lot, but most won't. They'll just go, oh my god, and give the guy the purse and run away, right? Now, for the rare few that would actually fight, because some women say, they'll say, oh, I'll pull out pepper mace. Well, who you think made the pepper mace, bitch? You think Sarah and Sandra wrote the patent up for mace, and Sandra went out and paid for a factory to make the mace and hired workers, and she's a CEO of Sandra's Mace, and that's how you know. Derek and Tom made mace, not Sandra and Sarah. So see, even your methods of preparation to defend yourself come from men. You don't even create that. The makeup that this woman has on, who you think made that makeup? You think women went out there and made that makeup? You think women are behind paying electric bills for the factory to make that makeup in? No, men are. You don't run anything. You run nothing. But who can get inside your holes? That's literally the only measuring tool you have in a debate is who can get inside one of your 3 holes. That's it. Because everything else about your life is going to come back to what did a man prepare for you? It's fucked up, but it's the truth. You know what I mean? It's pathetic. And I'm not mad about it. No woman can argue that. There is not one woman on earth who can argue that. Because it's the brutal truth.
That's exactly what you're doing. That little, ask them just the first
What's up,
one.
Jen?
The first one, I bet you'll get the answers. Not that stupid last one.
This time isn't loyal.
If Chris Brown offered to fly you out, you would go.
Most probably.
What about you? Would you go?
If my boyfriend wasn't watching,
He's right there.
What?
And what about you? Would you go?
Oh yeah, sorry, your boyfriend's got to go.
He's Jose and loyal, right?
In this situation, no.
Would you cheat on your boyfriend with Chris Brown? Come on. Yeah. You would. Chris Brown don't go. So Chris Brown.
It's a free pass.
He doesn't go.
It's a free pass.
he's on the list. If my partner ever
She'll do look, let me tell you, she will do anything for protection. Woman will do anything for protection. Long before she'll do anything to genuinely better herself. She'll do anything for protection. She'll say anything, she'll fake any smile, she'll cook food, she will do anything. That woman in your life does not love you. She loves the social status she gets from having a man, and the fact that she can employ that man for protection when she needs it. She does not love you. All right? And you have to remember that shit. Oh, she'll lie. She'll say everything. Oh, yeah. She'll do all that. Because and biologically she has to. Because what she's after is protection. So she'll do anything when she's honed in and she thinks that she can get a good amount of protection from this one man. She'll say and do anything.
ever asked me if you could go to a strip club, I'd never say no. For me, I see it as
one of the most liberating things for me has been giving up the idea and the desire to be the cool, chill girlfriend. I'm not cool, I'm not chill, and I will tell you a little story about what happened when I tried to be chill. Picture this, I've got a little tiny baby at home, and my ex is out partying with all his buddies. Be cool, I'm trying to give him his little guy's night, right? And all I asked was, tell me where you are, and keep in contact with me occasional. A little text here and there to let me know you're still alive. Of course, he lets his phone die, and I call his friend to figure out where are they, is he alive, is everything good, because I knew he was going to go insane. And when he drank, you were lucky if you were going to, keep him out of jail. The friend answers, I can't make out anything, but I do find out that he lied to me about where they were going. I can't hear, so I try to call back after we get disconnected, and a girl who my ex had hooked up with before we were together answers the phone, and I find out that she's out with them partying. If this is guys' night, why is your wife not there? And
that's why she loves it. because now because she knows that her man must be of value if another woman wants him. She
there
loves
another
it.
bitch there. I make it very clear to
She
the men that
loves
I
it.
date now, and I have a boyfriend, and I've made this clear to him. This is who I am. You don't like this? Guess what? Go date someone else. Go date a chill, cool girl. Go find one, because it's not me. Which, by the way, I was just reacting to being mistreated and lied to and cheated on, but what? I told him I don't care if your brother, some guy you almost got shot at with in the war. I don't give a fuck what your bond is with this man, and he's getting married, and everybody's going to Vegas and this trip. I don't care. If you want to come home to me, you're not going. So choose. Go to the strip club with your friends and have a great ass time and come home to an empty house, because you're not going to come home to... This is my boundary. This is where I've set up what I will be willing to put up with and what I'm willing to deal with. And if you want to cross that, then you don't get to be with me. Now, my boyfriend is not a narcissistic, cheating asshole who likes to oogle other women. So it has never been an issue for us. There are two versions of me. There is a very not...
And she's still sitting in the car talking about him. She loved that man. She still loves him. She loves that man who cheated on her, right? That's why she's sitting in the car talking about him, right? That's why she remembers his name. She remembers what his dick smells like, right? Think about that. She's with that new man, but she remembers what she remember her ex-boyfriend's name, what his dick smells like, what his sweat smells like, what his underarm funk smells like, right? And she will never forget it, because he was a desirable man. Now, what can happen, which can happen with women, is the protection can end up meaning more than the social status. So the ex-boyfriend who cheated on her, he made the social status cut, right? Other women still found him attractive. She was with him and all that. But some women are more wired to seek out just permanent protection. Right? So this new boyfriend, she's nowhere near as happy with him. Nowhere near as happy with this new guy, right? Nowhere near. Right? If he's not or if he's not cheating, or if it's clear that he can go get another woman, she's nowhere near as happy with the new guy. But she's figured that she can keep him and have that, relatively speaking, that more guaranteed protection. So she's willing to sacrifice the social status for the protection, for the guaranteed protection at a moment's notice, right? And like I said a long time ago, see, I can tell the quality of guy, like, and when I say quality, I mean like in terms of how much the earning potential of this man, because the only thing a woman is after is protection. That's in the end, right? Like when she's younger, she can play around with it like how she did. Because I guarantee he wasn't the first boyfriend who did that to her, and then just left her ghosted or something like that. So she finally hit the point where she pulled the trigger first. Okay, it wasn't her first time. But every woman wants, in the end, because every woman's looks are going to fade. There's nothing she could do. She can put on 5,000 pounds of makeup and get 3 different butt surgeries. You will just be able to tell she grew into an old bitch now. She's not a young, youthful, pretty tight body anymore, right? So, in the end, she's going to just crave protection over the social most intelligent, as far as women go, intelligent ones. They'll eventually just dive off into protection, right? Whether it's she could find solace in her family's money, or maybe she got some money from a divorce before. She could just live off that because she figured she could find another man if she just goes to these right bars, whatever. Her end game is to find protection, find consistent protection. It could come from a man, or it could not come from a man in terms of a sex partner, right? It can come from anything can fit that role. Thanks to how men have set up modern society, just having enough money can efficiently fit that role as man. Like, when you go to the ghetto, women just live off the system, right? Because the government is essentially playing man in her life, right? This woman just wants, she swayed more towards protection, right? Now, again, the new boyfriend, she don't care about him anywhere near as much, but she'll side with the protection. Melania Trump's a perfect example. It's no secret Donald Trump is not a beauty model. All right? Donald Trump is not a beauty model, but guess what? Donald Trump's money can make up for that, and that money can serve as qualified protection, right? And I say this all the time too. Melania Trump will never leave Donald Trump. Okay? Because that's Donald Trump. That's Donald Trump's lifestyle. That's his money. That's his friends. The worst thing that can happen to Melania Trump is Donald Trump gives her all his money in a divorce order. That would be the worst possible outcome for Melania, right? Because those are not her friends, right? And with that kind of money, she gonna end up dead, or they all gonna steal that money from her within 5 years max, right? So Melania's best option is to keep Donald happy. He want to go fuck other bitches, let him go fuck other bitches, because he can still afford to take care of Melania. Right? Let him go do that. Melania's number one option is to keep Donald happy in whatever he wants to go do. Right? Because she can't keep that life up. He's protecting her. Right? Now, let's say if Melania left Donald Trump, right? And Melania went off with, like, you know, a project designer. And let's say he was a good project designer. Let's say he made 6 figures a year doing it, right? She ain't happy with that for real. I mean, in Ohio, a project manager in like Ohio, right? Or let's say, what was it? A quantum human design. Let's say he studied quantum human design, right? And let's say he made 6 figures doing it, right? He's from Ohio. Melania, I mean, that's not a bad wage for, you know, especially for that line of work. But Melania's not gonna be happy with that, right? She's gonna be sitting up dreaming about when she was doing, you know what I mean, when she was sleeping in Trump Tower. Like, she's sitting up in the car dreaming about when she was sucking that ex-boyfriend's dick, not knowing if he got his dick sucked by another woman. It's the same shit. Right? She's not happy with that new boyfriend.
Not chill, not okay with everything girlfriend, and then there's the happy single version where I don't have to think about it and I don't worry about it. And I'd rather go the rest of my days in a bed by myself than wondering where my man is at 3 a.m.
Be real. Men will cheat whether you're Beyonce or Kim K. One thing about B, she's not going to be silly.
At this point, I feel like this is a marketing strategy for these online dating coaches, high value women coaches, because I refuse to believe y'all actually think y'all are helping women by spreading this BS. I already got blocked by one dating coach on this app for calling her out for saying this stuff, but I'm going to say it again and again and again. Stop giving men the power to do this to you. All these high value women coaches tell you to stay because you have establishments with this person, because you guys built an empire, because men will be men, because save your marriage. They tell you, oh, only if it's once, as if they haven't learned from our past generations. This does not only happen once. Here's what I'm going to tell y'all. Stop spreading this damaging mindset to women. And women, stop expecting a lifestyle from a man that you cannot provide for yourself. Because this will allow a man to take away that lifestyle whenever he feels like it. This will allow him to do
what I just said about Melania Trump and Donald Trump.
whatever he wants because he knows you are stuck in that lifestyle he's giving you.
Yeah. I'll tell my girl, because she knows this woman. She knows this girl who's in a rough position. We were talking about her. My girl, we were talking a few days ago about her, because she's looking for a boyfriend and she can't find one, and she out there making flowers, right? And making flowers is not a job where you need a degree to do it, right? You don't have to go to university to go, make flowers for a living, and that's what she's doing. Now, this girl that we're talking about, this girl went to university. As far as I know, she graduated, because many people could just lie about it. But as far as I can tell, because you can kind of tell when people are like lying, especially once you've gone that university road and you hear somebody else talk who's clearly never even gone there, or went for like a year or two kind of thing. You can usually kind of either feel on them if they're lying or not, or like hear them say something that's completely ridiculous. Like, for example, the other girl that she knew who was a principal of a school at 23 years old, like, yeah, that's complete bullshit. For anybody who works in education, no, there is no way they're going to let a 23-year-old with a bachelor's degree be a principal of an entire school. That's just not going to happen. But the girl we were talking about, she went to university, and she's working a job making flowers, which I said that job is beneath her. With a 4-year degree, and you making flowers for a living, like, why the fuck are you here for this long, right? And she's looking for a man, and I said, look, at this point, look, okay, educated men who are doing something with their own life are not hanging around flower shops. All right. On top of that, she's in a rough position because she's going to want a man who at least has a university degree or higher, if she's telling the truth, right? Because I was telling my girl how when I was in grad school, those women in those grad school, like, okay, when you go to grad school in a classroom, see, those women don't want those men in that classroom. Those women in that classroom want men who are already out, who are already finished, or they working in that field already, or they going to get their doctorates. See, women, they never want that equal motherfucker, right? So this girl, she's either going to want a man with more education than her or nothing, right? Or she's going to have to settle, right? And it's the thing where no man is good enough until he's too good for her. Because let's be for real, Donald Trump is too good for Melania Trump, for real. If you want to be real about it, Donald Trump is too good for them. Again, the only thing that keeps women up and moving in any type of reputable circles is because she looks cute. That's it. As far as accomplishments and philosophies and shit, very few women can compete with men, can genuinely compete with men. Because they don't want to.
When people ask me, like, why I don't go on dates or why I'm not dating anybody, it's honestly simple, and it's because I hate this generation. I live in a generation or an era of Netflix and chill, which is considered a date. I live in a generation where people consider dating someone as talking. I live in a generation where courting seems to be extinct. I live in an era of not wanting a title,
what's up, Scotty?
but still wanting
Good,
relationship benefits. And that's just not going to work with me. So I prefer to continue to live this peaceful life that I have found and made for myself than to be put in these not so great circumstances.
When I say I need my cheeks clapped back to back, non-stop. I'm not lying, okay? And do you want to know why I tend to, we're going to call it recycling, and if you know what that means, if you know, you know.
What's up, Javi?
I like to recycle because I don't have to train a new person. You know, like, you already know what to do. I already know, like, what kind of size I'm working with. And you may not get me off every time,
donation, man.
but, you know, I'm hoping for at least 50% of the time. And it's just nice that I'm already comfortable with you. You've already seen my butthole. Like, it's just a lot easier to recycle than it is to get to know new people. But recycling is also very bad for mental health.
So I just did not want to make this, but I think this is going to help me move past this point in my life and onto a new chapter and find people that are going through this same thing right now on TikTok. So yeah, let's get into it. Put a finger down if you just recently went to New York to hang out with your girlfriend, and on your last day, your boyfriend of almost 2 years texts you, "We need to talk," hours before your flight home. So you have to sit on a plane for 5 hours, like, thinking, and just don't know what the fuck's going on. Show up the minute you walk through the door, it's done. Now I'm here on Valentine's Day trying to find a new home, and the options are not looking very great. So happy Valentine's Day to me.
Why don't people like me? I'm trying to be hot. I'm trying to have fun. I'm just trying to meet cute people like you. It seems like everybody only wants to use me for sex, and I don't understand why.
Well, this does seem a little bit above my pay grade, but I'll ask you something. What have you learned so far throughout your whole experience?
You seem cool, so I don't want to comment on you, but many Men only want you for sex, and they want to kiss you, they want to do whatever, and they lie, they lie, they lie.
Well, I think the biggest takeaway from this was men ain't but I am very much.
Okay, yeah. Now, yeah. So, oh, J-Pay, I remember that. Yeah, he's in jail. And again, is that? I never even thought about it. Does J-Pay stand for jail? I never even thought about it, but she's in jail. Yeah. Oh, look, let me tell you something. This woman, if she's in jail, this woman, look, let's zoom in on her. This woman is in jail. So for those of you, I don't know, for those of you who may not know, at the bottom, J-Pay is how you put money on people's books when they are in jail. I don't know if it's the same for prison, but I remember specifically jail. That's how you do it. This woman makes more in jail, sitting in jail, than most of you watching right now make a year, working a job. On top of that, she's getting free food, free clothes. You know what I mean? This woman in jail, I will guarantee you, probably makes more than she'll probably make more in 3 months than you make in, I say, 8 or 9 months. Just writing letters and making calls to some lonely man who went perusing through the county jail website and found her picture and, you know, wrote her a letter or some shit, or signed up to go visit her or some shit like that. I will guarantee you this woman makes more than most men make working in a year, sitting behind bars. I will guarantee you that. I promise you that. Because I've seen that. Oh, let me read this. RBT, thanks for the $5, man. If you have time, can you do the 2 videos and 2 emails I sent? They are 9 minutes combined. Yeah, I should have time. Depends on how long I end up ranting. And if I don't rant too long in here, then for sure. But you know how I be, man. I get the rambling sometimes. A lot of times, not sometimes. Yeah. Only one Lord. Yeah, this woman. I would guarantee you, this woman gets more sitting in jail just because she has a picture that looks like that than most men are earning working a full-time job. I will guarantee you. I will literally bet $1,000 to a rib dinner. Y'all, you gotta do is buy me a beef rib dinner. If I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, I gotta buy you a beef rib. No. If I'm wrong, well, how's it? Fuck, I'm trying to think. I'm confused now. If I'm wrong, I give you $1,000. Right? I will guarantee you, this woman makes more sitting behind bars than you make getting up going to work all year round. I knew one guy who did that. And that was sad too, man. I knew a guy who did that. He chased this woman behind, and as soon as she got out, she never talked to him again. He kept pictures of her and everything. And I'm so not joking. I'm so 1,000% serious. Because I remember I stumbled on a picture later when I was with one of his friends, and they told me the story of what happened. Because I never heard the girl's name again. And he was on her for like a decade. One of these little girls like this. And was sending her money, driving hours to go visit her for 30 fucking minutes, some shit like that. That shit happens, dude. I knew hookers were hopping in and out of Montgomery County, and they're dating. And it was the same shit. I went to go visit one. And she literally broke down crying because she didn't think I would ever go in there and visit her. And I did. I can't remember why I did. I think I was probably just bored. Oh no, that was right before I was getting ready to leave the country. And I hadn't spoken to her for about a month. For you, just one of those times you just kind of move on with life. And I seen she was locked up. So I went down there to see her, and she started crying because she thought I was gonna be somebody else, and she seen me and she started crying. But those girls will make more money in that position just because how she looks, man. It's I'm telling you. See, these things are they're so unbelievable. You cannot tell unless a man has history or is involved with women who was like that in some kind of way. They just cannot believe. They're gonna think you're just mad and you hate women or whatever. And it plays in her favor because now she knows that if that guy doesn't believe it, he'll fall for it. Right? It's truly astounding what women can get away with just because they have a certain shape of eyebrows, long straight hair, and she's just not fat. It's amazing what they can get away with. And it's just that simple. Like, just don't be fat, have long straight hair, and look like you can figure out how to combine soap and water. And a woman's life is paid for. Just don't get fat is usually just rule number 1. And some man is waiting to come take care of a woman. He'd do whatever. He'd jump out of bed to go take care of a bitch. Just because she's just not fat.
What's up, TikTok? I'm Morgan Bachman. I'm doing time in Boise, Idaho right now. Hit me up on JPay. My number's 138851.
Oh, let's look at what Morgan. What's that say? Morgan. Well, now what kind of Idaho? Okay, so let's. Well, no, you gotta find a county. Let's just try anyway. Because you gotta find that county to find her. So yeah, you're not gonna be. You gotta know that specific. Does it say the county? DOC. I doubt. Let's try DOC. I doubt DOC is the county. It's probably like corrections, Department of Corrections, Idaho Department of Corrections. You gotta have the specific county to find them, and that's the hard part.
All of the nonsense you say about us. We don't protect you. We're not productive. We're nothing. Okay, fine. I accept it. Okay, if we ain't shit, let's take us off the board. Then why are your outcomes still not better? Because me being an ain't shit dude doesn't stop you from getting the dude you're supposed to get. Let's go and let's figure that part out. Because if it's worth what you're saying it's worth, then you should be able to get what you qualify for. Correct? And it's silence all the time. It's silence because it's just like you're not the least married because we ain't shit. You're the least married because the market is spoken.
Yes, I can deal with them whenever I want. Yes, I can have sex with them whenever I want, go on dates with them whenever I want. But the fact is that as soon as an opportunity that's more advantageous for them comes along, they will leave your ass in the dust without a second thought. I'm not trying to be in a club at 50, 60 years old, chasing women and trying to maintain a roster and things of that nature. That's corny as hell, and we see it. We in Houston. This is a party city. You can go out and it's still 40, 50-year-old men in there sipping on one drink all night, trying to lure women in with money who ain't giving them a time of day, ain't even looking their way twice, and if they do, it's just for the money, and that's not cool. What's cool is you done got with a woman who, again, y'all both had the same investment, y'all got love for each other, y'all building, y'all doing y'all thing, and we look up at 50 years old and it's 20 plus years of marriage in this thing. Our kids is going to college, we traveling, we done built this business, we got passive income all the way around, all of this stuff is under our name, what we built.
Nothing grosses me out more than seeing married men or men in committed relationships looking other women up and down while their wife or significant other is looking the other way. And I always pay attention. Like if a woman walks
Where her
by
tits
and
are
has a
hanging
stunning
out,
body
yeah.
or a stunning face, I watch immediately the men in my group to see how they look at her and if they choose to indulge themselves with lust or if they choose to look away in honor of their partner.
With her tits
It's very
hanging out.
disappointing. The results are disappointing, my friend. Or if you've been the girl on the receiving end of that, when a guy is with his partner and you catch him looking at you, you're just like, what the hell is wrong with you? That really genuinely makes me sick to my stomach.
5 minutes later, did they look at my tits? That's women. Tits McGee she's complaining about men looking at other women. Yeah, you gotta love it, man.
Ask a grown man, be like, hey, who's your best friend? They'll be like, when I was 8. Be like, Andrew Behrens? I haven't thought about him. 28 years. No, Jimmy, I'm at that age now. I'm 36, and I realized I don't really have friends. You know this. You hit a certain age. Yeah. And unless, it's golf, gambling, or video games, you have no friends. As a guy, Steve, do you have any friends? Yeah. Right? Like, Jimmy, do you have friends? Sincerely. No. See what no, of course. No. Nancy has friends, and then you're friends with their husbands.
Women, in my opinion, have lost their motherfucking mind. Like, ever since they've gotten freedom to do things, and their freedom comes from wicked people. Trust me. All the things you're able to do, wicked people enabled you to do it. So you can destroy your neighborhoods and everything. I'm talking to all women of the Western world here in America. Your freedom has destroyed not only your neighborhoods, not only the family, you have destroyed you. And because I'm saying, like, if you look at child support, the way people alter their bodies and all this shit, this is all because women have freedom. I'm telling you, the best women in the world is a woman who has followed and got direction from a man.
Yeah.
All women that's raised by women are destroyers of the world. All women raised by women are destroyers of the world. You can research this all you want.
Yeah.
The best, most quality women are the women who have been given the information, the game, whatever you want to call it, by a man in their life.
Yeah.
I met a woman who got some principles for real, but I'm saying, like, most of the women that I've run into are in situations where, principles aren't the first thing that they're going to come with. In fact, they don't even really work on principles. They're at survival level. When you're at a survival level, you know what I'm saying? You'll compromise yourself and do things. These girls that I give $200 to don't really want me. But they need the $200. Why? Listen, man.
At least you came to the realization.
Right. I'll be with girls that are actually beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they might have the blue hair and the tattoos on their neck, but they're beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect us to make it. I expect as long as you are in a struggle situation,
right,
I am a major player in your life.
I heard that. Up until she get on her feet, you'll be there.
Man, listen, man, I've always said this, man. A woman who can take care of herself, I probably don't got a shot at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But why deal?
Yeah. And he's unbelievably truthful. Yeah. Woman, like how I said earlier, woman is the end game for woman is just to find protection, right? Now, the fact that we have currency that can buy many things, women can essentially just either live off the government or live off of men paying them for sex or live off just pure simps, like pure simps type shit, right? Women can just live off that. And he's 1,000% right. He's 1,000% right. If a woman can take care of herself, that's going to be that woman is going to be the most bitter, angry, over picky woman you will ever find in your life. And you're not going to have a shot with her for one reason or another. Right? That's just it. Everything a woman does is for protection. Now men and women will both do things for protection, but when a woman ends up fucked up, her immediate backup plan is to go find a man. Right? And all her girlfriends will say, you need to find a man. Right? Mothers will tell their own daughters that. Now, when a man's fucked up, there's no future in him going, oh man, I'm so fucked up. I need to find a woman. No, because women don't contribute shit. They don't make shit. They don't create shit. They don't keep anything sustained well. Woman is the liability in survival, right? You see, like, when a woman's fucked up, oh, I just lost my job. I just lost my car. I had a nervous breakdown. You know what will fix her right up? Going to find a man. And the whole world would fucking advocate that shit. You just need support. You need a supportive spouse, right? Now, when a man goes out there, oh my God, dude, I just lost my fucking job. I lost my car. I had a nervous breakdown. I think I need to go find a woman. Motherfuckers be like, no, no, no. You need to get yourself right first before you go get with a woman. Y'all already know that speech. Because everybody knows a woman is worth nothing. In terms of trying to grow and become better, she's worthless. Man, you're worth something when a woman's trying to become better. When a woman's trying to grow and become better, the man is valuable. But when a man's trying to grow and become better, the woman is a fucking Pop-Tart. Right? A Pop-Tart is not a meal that you can survive on. A Pop-Tart is just some side shit. I mean, you can fuck around and eat you a whole box of Pop-Tarts. You know, you got a taste for them, but you know you're gonna have a stomach ache. You ain't gonna be all the way right. You know, you're gonna have a stomach ache, be farting, might, you know, have some weird shits or something like that. But I mean, you're not supposed to eat Pop-Tarts all day. Pop-Tarts are not a fucking full meal. Right? You can get away with it here or there if you lucky, especially as you start getting older. If you get lucky, I mean, you get away with it here or there. But you know you're going to be fucked up, right? Now, on the flip side, when a woman's fucked up, see, a man is Thanksgiving dinner for her. Right? You can go anywhere on earth with a Thanksgiving dinner and bring up every hungry person up to optimum health. Right? That whole platter. Right? Bitches are fucking donuts. Bitches are fucking Krispy Kreme donuts. Men are a Thanksgiving dinner. You can go anywhere on earth, anywhere from Japan to Australia to fucking Zimbabwe to Chile to fucking Montana, and you walk in that door with a Thanksgiving dinner platter. Everybody, no matter what kind of mood, they go, oh well, look, I ain't even hungry. I just put it in the refrigerator for later. I could use that at a later date. I could use at a later date, right, to become fully nourished. But see, a woman is a Pop-Tart. Right? You go to Japan, you go to Australia, you go to Zimbabwe, you go to Montana, you go to Chile with a Pop-Tart. I mean, it's sweet. It tastes good for 5 minutes, but you're not going to be fully nourished off that shit, right? You still going to be fucked up till you go back and get you a meal, right? And the meal is going to finding intelligence and purpose. That is, to a man, that is a meal for a man. A meal for a woman is a man. A meal for a man is to seek out intelligence. Women, which is something women don't have naturally. They know how to lie and trick you into believing that they're intelligent. But they don't women cannot genuinely create. Most women you gonna come across genuinely are not gonna come up with moderate levels of intellect on anything outside of how does she look cute, and what did some other woman think about a dress that she wore or something like that. It doesn't go too much higher than that, right? But yeah, back to what Corey Holcomb said. If a woman is successful, look, a woman's primary drive is just to find protection. So right now we could use numbers to protect us in the form of money, right? So that can bridge that gap. But again, with Corey Holcomb, let's say everything he just said, but you take it to that Bear Grylls situation, Grylls, where we strip out all laws, all forms of currency to go to the store to buy anything, and see all the women who think they can take care of themselves, they gonna find out real quick that they're fucking useless. Very fast.
Who found a way. I look for the ones who are still lost at sea. I'm that light in the ship with a bowl of soup on it. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm doing.
At least you know your place. You know what I'm saying? All right, now, Corey Holcomb, Corey speaking. Body counts. All righty? As men, do we want to know our woman's body count?
Most men can't handle their woman's true body count. Especially if she in poverty.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yes. Oh, exactly. Women will suck, fuck, swallow anything. Woman will literally do anything for survival. Let her miss that cell phone bill payment, and she out there deep. Well, back when I was 20, she out there deep throating a train of cocks to get that $50 to pay her phone bill. See, nowadays women know they can get away. They can get a lot more for a lot less because online dating, flipped up everything. But let a woman seriously be. Look, sex means nothing to a woman, and he's right. Most men cannot handle the body, just how easy women can hop in and out of sex. Most men cannot handle that. So, okay, you will never know a woman's body count, how many partners she's been with. If she likes you, she's going to lie to you. Just like a car salesman, if he's trying to sell a car, he will lie to you and tell you that transmission is perfectly fine because he's trying to sell that car, right? My girl will lie to me. All right, I've never even asked her because I know she's going to lie. She's never going to tell me the truth. Right? Most men cannot handle that. But the key part to remember for men was when this topic comes up is I try to stress that sex means nothing to women. Sex is literally nothing to them. It's just it's a cup of coffee for them. Right? They don't care. Right? Sex is nothing to them. See, all that importance in sex is a man thing on every level, as far as it being a crime, as far as using it for somebody's benefit. See, all this is important to men. Women, sex to a woman is nothing more than a cup of coffee. Men are the one assigning value to all that. Men are the one assigning value to sex partners historically, making like forcible sex a crime or incest a criminal offense. That's men do. Women don't care about any of that shit, dude. None of it. That's men doing that. And for the best, just because men are genuinely more admirable. Men are more admirable than women, and so it's for admirable. I'm not trying to say like we shouldn't respect these things, right? We should respect them because that's just men are just admirable. Men have to set the rules to keep society moving and flowing, right?
I don't really care about your body count. I trust that God will lead me into the right situation where I won't come out of it sick. I mean, like, when I was young, I probably met one girl who had me sick or something like that. Now that I'm older, it's like I have instincts. I can see this. The girls who believe that they better than the girls who are on the street selling it.
Right. So is there a number
safer to deal with?
Like, say for instance, if a guy has 10 bodies as his body count.
Oh, he ain't got no money.
Right. But okay, let's just say he has 10 and the girl has 10. Is there a difference?
I don't know what a guy does with his body, and I don't care.
Right.
I think like body count thing, that's like
no. Here's the thing: it's more gross when a woman has a high body. The reason why I say this, let's say if a man has 10, a woman has 10, it's more gross, right? Because see, when a man is having sex, okay, the man is usually doing the sex act, right? So he's pretty much, it's in terms of like respect after it, right? The man is going to be more respectable after it, right? See, it's the women that go off and do facial abuse, get trains ran on them, doing, all types of, crazy porn, max hardcore, shit like that. See, it's the women that she might have 10 sexual partners, but she was getting spit on, pissed on, eating the bartender's ass after they closed the bar type of shit, and his ass was hairy and smelly. She done some gross shit, right? Out of them 10, 3 of them like used her good, like the guys that facial abuse do, which I'm a fan of facial abuse. I think they do great work. But they got used hard. That's why. And see, here's the thing: women love that shit, right? They love to be used because it gives them like genuine. It gives a woman. Have you ever used a woman like hard, and then you ever notice like how nice she is after it, and like how well she treats you after it? Like when you use a woman like hard, because like to the woman, being used hard like that, the woman sees that as giving her like the most attention you can give a woman, right? By just relentlessly using her in the most filthiest of ways, right? But the thing is, she has had some respect for you first in some way to even let it happen. But like when you do it, like they end up loving you after that. Like women, that's the fucked up part about it is that every woman on earth wants to either get fucked by the guys at facial abuse or either they have been fucked like that or they want to be fucked like that. If not now, then after I bring it up next week, she'll be talking about she wants to do it. Every woman on earth, from Oprah to fucking Melania Trump, all them bitches want just that. Okay, like how men want unconditional love, women want to be unconditionally fucked. Like where a man just like let go with her, right? But again, the way it has to be dressed up for the woman. Like the woman has to have some respect for the guy first and all that, all that shit like that. But yeah, it's that thing. How guys want unconditional love from a woman, women want unconditional attention. And that's pretty much the highest form of it for women. RO, does your baby mama know you like hard, disgusting sex? Well, of course.
Younger guys.
She's part of it.
Younger guys who are looking for a wife because they're lost.
What's about
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying everybody who's married is lost, but when you're younger, it's not.
I'm not getting that from you sometimes.
Yeah, I'm saying when you're younger, you think you're supposed to find a wife and go sign that marriage certificate, where basically your whole marriage is belonging to the state and all like that. When you're older, I don't care about a girl's body count. All I care is if she can be quiet when I'm around her.
On some real shit, I love men. I'm sorry, I can't relate to these bitches. Yes, I buy men dinner. Yes, I buy them flowers. Yes, I buy them vacations.
You get that tattoo.
Like, I don't know when there was some type of infiltration, some type of sewage got in the water, but you bitches are fucked up in the head for thinking that a man is supposed to enter your life, pay your bills, pay for your hair. That shit is not real. It's an agenda. It's an agenda. Okay? Buck up.
It's that tattoo.
Buck up. Take care of your man. Oh, you hate men? Well, you be gay because you're not gonna attract a man hating men.
Yeah, you're that tattoo.
So this is clearly what I mean by women are delusional. Look at this comment.
You should say, no, you're not happy. We went to therapy, found healing, spent quality time with ourselves, and figured out who we are. We need no one if we chose you.
A lot more comments of women kind of similar to this saying that I'm not happy because I'm telling you that you're not happy. That clearly means that you're not happy. You have to tell me that I'm not happy because I just have an opinion that women are not happy being by themselves. If you're so happy being by yourselves, why are you on the internet telling a stranger that you are happy? I don't get, what? You're not happy. You might be content, but you're not happy. Stop with these comments. I don't care. Go back to your therapist, lady, and talk to your therapist about this because I can't help you. I'm not here to help you. I'm just here to talk and give my opinion on stuff because that's what my platform, I made it for. This is the delusion that men say women have and we fail to admit to ourselves. Ladies, please, let's get it together. And don't nobody be in the comments talking about my wig. I know I need a new wig, so shut the fuck up. I gotta get a new one. I know. It's time to get it done. Shut up. That's me not being delusional.
Yo, let me read this donation. Killing the most. Thanks for the $10, man. Here's a little something. I hear you talking points, and there's something fresh. Yo, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the donation, man. Thank you, RBT. Thanks for the donations. Appreciate it, man. My favorite breakdown is a Tourette girl where she lived with a simp. I don't remember that. I'm talking so much on YouTube. I can't remember. I can't. You know why I can't? Because I'm playing Armored Core. Armored Core is on the PC like right next to me. I would show you, but I got the Ethernet plugged into this adapter, and I don't want to risk losing a live stream. But it's like because I got the screen on a big swivel, but It's not gonna make it. This is what I can take a picture. Here, I'll take a picture of my screen literally right next. Hang on. This is what is on my screen. Literally right next. Oh. That's what's on my screen right next to the it's Armored Core. Can y'all see that? I don't know. But yeah. I've been getting my ass beat by the first main boss. The end of chapter 1's main boss. So I'm back in the hangar. They put my ass back in the hangar about the 75th time. Said, damn, get your motherfucking ass out of here. Get your ass beat. Like, yeah, I know. Can I get some new guns, please? Come back with a black eye and shit. I know. He's a little tough. Get my ass beat. Is performance on Armored Core 6 good? Yeah, nuclear bomb. Yeah, I'm running. I'm about 50, between 50-60 frames a second on PC. But my PC is not the best though. Too. It's an old PC. But it's running about between 50-60. I'm playing it. I'm pretty sure it's at 1080 because I really don't care about frame rates like that. And this game looks, resolution. This game was great at 1080, so I'm not even mad about it. Like when I play any new game, I usually immediately just set it down to like medium 1080p because even with my YouTube, it's like I can deal with lower resolutions. It's just I don't want any risk of the frame rate dipping. That's when I'm like, okay, I can't do this. Turn it off. I got a 980 Ti, which is old as fuck. But it's still not a bad card though. It's still pretty good. It's just old. But yeah, I got pretty good performance so far. I haven't reached a level that's like, too wild or anything. But Leslie, what's up, Leslie Porter says, money makes slaves out of these goofy bras. These bras worship money too much. So stupid of them. You gotta survive. A couple years ago, if you start dating, I'll make you homeless. I don't care. The simp. Yeah. He must have read RedPill Analysis, your video series name at the time. Oh, yeah. I think on some interview, Billie Eilish once said she watched facial abuse porn. Oh, I'm sure, man, women are getting off to that shit, man. Like, women get off to that. Especially once she's had a guy who's fucked her like that. Like, here's the two things women get off to. Women get off to, like, all types of gay porn. Like, women are doing more wild shit than men are doing. At far earlier ages, right? Women are into, like, the wild gay porn, the wild rough porn. See, men are the ones that's getting off to, like, basic doggy style because this bitch just has a really nice looking ass. Like, women don't get off to that. Women are getting off to, like, the weird camera angles that, like, where it's just, like, purely just pounding a pussy type of shit where you don't see anything else but just, like, dick going in the pussy type shit. Or they're getting off to, like, wild gay sex between lesbian or just, like, gay men or something like that. Or they're getting off to facial abuse, BDSM. Like, it's that added shit. Like, women are not getting off to, like, vanilla porn, dude. They're not. They're not watching that at all. It's always, like, some wild shit. Yeah, I'm sure Billie Eilish is. I'm sure she watches it now. She's probably got a subscription. I wouldn't be surprised. That's who's watching that shit. She probably got fucked good, or she wants to get fucked like that, so she started watching it. I'm not surprised one bit. I said it was that one thing. was it not Girls Do Porn? It was one of them documentaries. Quincy Jones, Rashida Jones was giving an interview, and I looked in that bitch's eyes. She was talking to bitches who did facial abuse and saying how the guys were like so evil. And the look in Rashida Jones' eyes was, I wish somebody would fuck me like that. Like, I swear to God. I'm pretty sure it was Rashida Jones I'm thinking of. She was staring at him talking, and she was staring in a sense of like, oh my God. Where do you find a man to do this to you? But she's Rashida Jones, so she can't go into facial abuse. She's Rashida Jones. She ain't famous no more, but like she's got a face and a name. Motherfuckers will recognize her instantaneously. with a capital I. Yeah. Here's the thing. And I said this before, if Kim Kardashian or Beyonce came out and admitted to like getting fucked like that, then every woman would be like, finally, we can all say it now. Yes, I want to get fucked like that. Like women would own it. But since women are severe followers, they're all gonna do all their mannerisms, everything's gonna simulate whatever she thinks okay. From every woman you've seen on here, including this woman, right? Her baseline for how she acts in public, right? Every single woman, her baseline for how she acts in public is she's going to act as closely as she can to the woman who has the man or the lifestyle that she wants, right? Meaning, like I said, if Beyonce were to say, yeah, I love facial abuse, I think they're great, then you would have tons of more women coming out and saying the same shit, right? But since no woman of any, powerful position as woman, right? Not the Queen of England. See, the Queen, well, she died, but like, look, here's the thing. With the Queen of England, I don't know anything about her. I would love to meet her just so I can like hear her perspective on life, right? And being, relatively speaking, born into that position, running an empire. Like, I would love to just hear her stories. But she was not successful as woman, right? So when a woman is at her height as woman, it's like essentially what Beyonce was in her prime, is to be attractive, youthful looking, and with a powerful man, right? The Queen of England had none of that. Right? The Queen of England, she was powerful, but she couldn't get with no man. There was no room for her to be with a man because she already had everything. So she's not compromising. She's not going down. The Queen of England couldn't even do it. Right? Now, that was his name, Prince Phil, the dude who married Meghan Markle. Now, he can go marry down some bitch he found on the street in a bar or something. He can go do that. But no, the Queen, it's hard for her to do that. It's hard. She can do it. I think she did do it. She could do it, but the king, okay, that man will never be a king. He's always going to be the queen's husband, right? But with that being said, see, there is not one woman who seriously wanted to be the Queen of England, right? Because the Queen of England was not successful as a woman. She was relatively speaking, due to her birthrights, she was a successful woman, but she was not successful as woman, right? Melania Trump is successful as woman, right? She's sucking the right dick and didn't get fat. And she looks a little good. Melania Trump is successful as woman, right? The Queen of England wasn't. Right? Home Depot girl is successful as woman. Right? So when women are going to simulate the kind of attitude that they think is desirable by a certain kind of man, it's going to be whoever they idolize who has that. Like how bitches walk around talking like Nicki Minaj or Cardi B and all that shit like that. See, because they're idolizing the woman who has their lifestyle that they want for the type of men they can get around or the type of money and lifestyle that they want. So they're going to start walking around talking like Cardi B, right? Those trash women, right? They're going to do that. Or another woman, she's going to, but none of them are going to be open about liking facial abuse because there's no woman out there doing it yet. Now, once a woman does go out there and actually, owns it, then you'll start, especially if it's like Beyonce or Kim Kardashian, now you're going to have a lot more women opening up about it. And like, yeah, you like facial abuse. I love season 1 through 5. That was the best seasons when they was in the hotel room. I remember the old facial abuse when they was in the hotel room. I still remember one I really liked. One I really liked, it was this fat white girl. And he starts choking her, and he says something like, say daddy or something like that. And she goes, no. And he chokes her harder, and then she goes, daddy. And it's something like daddy or something like that. She wasn't very physically attractive, but I just like the humiliation in it. I think her name was like Clarissa or something like that. But that was one of my favorite ones. I remember watching a facial abuse video where a woman was being interviewed while her mother was playing with her hair, pimped out by her own. Oh yeah, yeah. I think that was the one where they both were like, the mom was even kind of cute too. The mom was hot. I remember one where the mom was hot. They both were good looking, but the mom was hot as being a mom, you know. Lana Del Rey sings about being into older men in one song, and guess what? Young girls openly express themselves being into older men. Can't make this up. Yeah, I really enjoyed Lana Del Rey's album. This was back when I was in college. Fuck. And we're the one that had Off to the Races. And we're off to the races. Like I really like Lana Del Rey for for how it came together, on an album. I really enjoyed it. The lyrics were like brutal like that. Her pussy tastes like Pepsi Cola and yeah, all that shit. Yeah, I was into that. I didn't care for the song Born to Die. I kind of like it now, but when it came out, I just didn't care for it. I didn't care for Born to Die. But I was really into Lana Del Rey back when, was it Ultraviolent? Was that the name of that album? The one that had Off to the Races. Like, my old man is an old man, but he says he feels like heaven to him. Yeah, like, that shit was hot. For how it just came, whoever produced it or whatever, it came together. I really enjoyed Lana Del Rey shit back then. I don't know what she's done lately. I just, not that I have anything against her. I think she got fat, but I mean I just haven't paid her music much attention. Not for any specific reason. But yeah, no, Lana Del Rey had some good words. The one song I wanted to do a video about, but YouTube won't let me do it because it's gonna copyright it. But High by the Beach. I remember when High by the Beach came out. And I really enjoyed that. I liked the video, like it just had its own vibe to it, right? But the lyrics in that song was we won't survive. And I'm thinking to myself, no, you won't survive, because she got with a man. You go watch this video, High by the Beach. Like, all I want to do is get high by the beach, get high by the beach, get high. Like, but the part where it goes, we won't survive. And every time she says, I think, no, you won't survive. Like, the man's going to be just fine. Because she just wanted the man's money and all that shit like that. But I really like Lana Del Rey. She admits to sleeping her way to the top. Yeah. I really liked her old music. There was a few female artists I was into back then. I was into Brandy Carlisle, which she's not very known, but I was really into Brandy Carlisle. Her acoustic version of Dying Day. Let's play that. Because the lyrics was really good too. Hang on. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, so somebody's going to be, She had Brandy Carlisle had a lot of really good songs. Oh, that's probably going to be copyrighted. These all sound like they're going to be copyrighted by the name of the channels. I think she's a lesbian, but she adopted a kid. But I was really into Lana Del Rey back when, this is a good one. This is the one I used to listen to. 15 years ago. She has a much bigger range. You'd have to find the one she has a much bigger range. Like, she has a great range. And I thought she was going to be popular from this song, The Story, because I hadn't heard anything like that when it came out. So I thought she was going to take off. So I always followed her. When I heard the story, it got 51 million views. It must have taken off again because it didn't have a lot of views. But I like all her songs have really great lyrics. Like, I still know a lot of them by heart to this day. I'm thinking of a few of them in my head right now. Dudes Be Thirsty. Lana Del Rey's okay. Where we at? Kanye West made Taylor Swift famous. Not my opinion. I love Lana's first album. It was like an 80s album. Yeah. Yeah. You know I'm salty who didn't make it? I'm kind of salty about it. Yeah. Because he came back out with an album lately. And it was dun, 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 dun. And he got a couple million views 3 years ago. But he had this one song, and I thought it was hot, man. He had this video to it, and it's just this piano beat. And I thought it was hot, man. Here it is, Losing Weight. It got 2 million views. This song, I'm not gonna play it because I'm sure it's copyrighted. But like I really like this song, and he just didn't make it. I guess time just moved on. People just not feeling it. Maybe just bad timing. But I really enjoyed this song, Losing Weight. I really enjoyed it, and it just never made it too. But I really liked Joel Santana better. Out of that whole Dipset group, I liked Joel Santana much better than... I never cared for Cameron back in like the early 2000s, but he was more popular back then. But yeah. But yeah, when it comes to music, I could listen to some... I'm getting to the point where I could listen to rock now. I don't know any like specific rock, but I'm getting to the point where I can listen to it. But I can listen to some anything. Probably because I used to play music, so I can hear where they're trying to go with it. But I could listen to anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. I got the baby playing keyboard. Well, he just be bashing shit because he's like 1, but at least he knows what a keyboard looks like. Dipset, yeah. Now this here is when that gun with the clip in starts dumping and ripping at y'all head, y'all some dead some of my bitches. It was crunk music. And this wasn't they had the thing is Dipset had a ton of hits that were not they was always like mixtapes and all this shit, but man, they had the hottest tracks that like nobody ever heard, man. It was like their best music was the ones that never made it popular. The best songs were the ones that never made it, for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna get off here in a minute, man. So tomorrow I'll do the other videos you sent me, RBT, if you still watching. But yeah. That's it. Losing Weight Part 2. I don't think I even heard. I think I stumbled on that one. I don't even think I even listened to the other parts. I could be wrong, but maybe I did. But yeah. I'm trying to think of some other. I tell you a song I stumbled back on. I thought it popped into my head again. I haven't listened to the song in 6 years. I remember because last time I listened to it was when I first came to Prague. If anybody which I doubt anybody will like, or maybe even heard a guy, his name's Tom Waits. I used to be into Tom Waits years ago, but this was my favorite song by Tom Waits. We got 10 million views. Okay, blew up. But Hell Broke Loose. So that's my favorite song by Tom Waits. The name of it is Hell Broke Loose. And loose is not loose. The word loose does not mean like loose as in like it got out. Loose means loose is the name of a guy who is a real guy who was in the military, and he made a song out of the guy's journal. And it says how hell broke him, like hell broke loose, like Sergeant Loose or whatever the fuck. And it just really has its own type of beat. Throw It Up was a good crunk song word, huh? 80 today is Michael Jackson's birthday. What's up, Elijah? I didn't know that. That's crazy. But I'm trying to think of another song. Oh, I got real into that. Where's my phone? It's right here. You see, because I downloaded some few new songs on my Apple Music. He Hyalung, that I don't know how you would describe it. It's like this own, it's like its own different, it's like that Nordic shit, if I had to guess. This group right here. This was the performance. This is the performance I like. The live performance right here. But it's like this Nordic shit. But yeah, it's pretty gangs. I like it. Do you like Tyler the Creator? I didn't even know the guy made music. I thought he was just like a personality. But then I heard him rap one time and he said some gay ass shit, but it was hot though. He said something about butt sex or something like that. Cause I didn't know he was gay, but that shit was hot. Like that shit. That motherfucker got bars. Like that shit was hot. He said something like him and his friend was looking for butt sex or something like that. But it was like that shit was hot. Like it on a rhyming standpoint, you can't say that shit wasn't hot. But no, I've never listened to Tyler the Creator. I don't know any. I couldn't tell you one song he's made. From what I see, he seems like a cool dude, like a real dude, you know. But I don't know anything. I know nothing about him other than his name, and I can put a face to him, which is, for me, that's an accomplishment. But I don't know anything about the guy. I don't know. But I know from the little bit that I did hear him like on interviews or like freestyling or something like that. It was dope shit for sure. Yeah. I just didn't make it. I just didn't make it to listening to anything he's made. I'm sure it's good from the little bit that I've heard of him rapping. Like I would love to hear something with him and Eminem together on it. I think that would be some pretty game. Him, Eminem. I like the dude, was it NF or something like that? I was listening to him a while back. I like the NF guy. He's a white dude. It was hot. He had some hot shit. This was years ago. I haven't listened to anything since then. But 80, did you hear about hip hop legend and pioneer Melly Mel dissed Eminem? It's only a minute long, but it's hilarious. I don't even know who Melly Mel. I'm horrible with names, so I don't even know who this is. Let me see if I know who this is. Was it a song? I don't know who this is. I'm not even gonna lie. I have no idea who this is. If he's like older, then I'm not gonna know, because I didn't care for any music in the 90s. So if he's a 90s artist, then I'm not going, because I cared. There was no music other than Michael Jackson. The only music I listened to in the 90s was Michael Jackson, The Temptations, and maybe like one song here or there kind of thing. There was no music in the 90s I liked as a kid. So if he's a 90s artist, let me see. Is he a 90s artist? There was very few songs I liked in the 90s. So yeah, if he's 62, yeah, see, I wouldn't like, I'm not gonna know who he is, because I didn't care for any music outside of, back then, I was born in 86. But all this, yeah, no, I'm not gonna, I have no idea who he is. So no, I don't know he dissed Eminem or not. It's called Kickback. Word. It sounds like he's trying to get his name on the map again, if I had to guess. But I don't know anything about him. I'm just talking out of ignorance, because, again, I just wasn't in the, and there was very little music I was into in the 90s. So, it was very little music I was into in the 90s. Like I said, Michael Jackson, Temptations. I pretty much could sing. I pretty much have the majority of the Temptations, at least when David Ruffin was with them. I have pretty much most of those songs memorized by heart. But yeah, outside of that, man, there wasn't very many other artists that I could even barely even listen. I just thought all that music just sucked back then. All of it just was awful. I remember start liking music. I didn't remember start to like music again Okay, the first song that I remember being absolutely completely crazy for was "How Deep Is Your Love." "How Deep Is Your Love" by Drew Hill. That was the first song that I had heard outside of Michael Jackson that I was like genuinely like, that is a different sound. Like I haven't heard anything like that. It was just the video was something for the time was just something. The way it came together with Rush Hour, like "How Deep Is Your Love" by Drew Hill was the first song that I could remember being like genuinely excited because I wanted to like Usher because Usher was just essentially just like a Michael Jackson copycat. So it's like like a Michael Jackson, not a copycat, but a Michael Jackson wannabe kind of thing. Because I liked "What's So Different" by Genuine. I remember that video. "What's So Different." That was another one that had a different sound. Genuine, he had a good period to me where he had like his own different sound, but it was just upbeat enough to where like it had like a good dancing beat to it kind of thing. So I liked Genuine's older shit like "What's So Different," "Say Everybody," you gotta like "Same OG," shit like that. I can't remember other songs now. I remember I wanted to like Ja Rule when he was out with that Vidi Vita Vessi or whatever that. I had that album because that album had the Christina Milian song on it, and that was the only good song on the whole CD. To me, that was another song that it just had its own. It just caught me. It caught my attention. But I think that was like 2003-ish. 2002, I think maybe. But yeah, now Drew Hill. So after "How Deep Is Your Love" came out, I played that to death. I remember I had the whole Rush Hour soundtrack. 'Cause I remember that "Can I Get Her" was on it by Jay-Z. And then "You Are Everything," the remix by Drew Hill. I really liked that song. That was something that just had its own sound. Like that's all. I just like it was just so like all the music in that time period just sound the same. And so it was like for me finding anything that just had its own sound that sound good was just hard to find. So like "You Are Everything," the remix by I'll pull it up. Because it's like set in the future. This one right here. I'm not gonna play it because I'm sure it's copyrighted. But it was like set in the future, and it just had its own different sound to it. But yeah, that was another one that caught me. But The Weeknd kind of copies Michael Jackson and Prince. Oh yeah, definitely. That's the first thing I thought when I heard him. Javi was that was the first thing when I first heard The Weeknd. Yeah, it's literally just Michael Jackson and Prince with modern hip hop. I mean, I'm sure he has some bars, but because I remember The Weeknd when he was like a nobody, because he had been doing it for like years before he got like mainstream famous. He was like, okay, The Weeknd was like the girl I showed you, Brandy Carlisle. Like he was one of them. He had a cult following kind of thing, but he just wasn't mainstream for the long. And Nicki Minaj, she went through a period of that. I remember when a friend of mine, he played some Nicki Minaj, but way before Nicki Minaj was Nicki Minaj, and she went through the same phase of that where like she was, you couldn't like nothing she made was bad. And that's a rare thing because most women are just terrible at rap. Every female rap artist was just awful. Like Eve, I'm like I said, I'm tired of pretending that the NBA is something to be worshipped. I'm tired of pretending that Eve was a good rapper. She was not a good rapper. There was not one bar that Eve had. I was like, that was alright. No, now Nicki Minaj had some bars, and she's an anomaly, right? Because again, there's not one female rapper that I can think of that when I heard rap, I was like, that's hot shit. Other than Nicki Minaj was the only one. That's just the honest truth, right? Eve was just not a good rapper. And every female group that had the female rapper in it was No, they were at best they can just at least just stay on beat and rhyme cat with hat. Like that was about it. But to be fair, back then most rappers were just, in my opinion, just weren't good overall. Like it was just most rappers that I remember. Like I didn't like rap until Eminem. Eminem was the first one who legitimately I like Beanie Siegel. Beanie Siegel was a good one. I'm trying to think of other ones, but I can't think of any other ones right now. But Eminem was the first one that I found who could consistently rap, and either he had a dope punchline or the overall song was getting to a point outside of I'm on the block with my Glock. You know what I got? I got some Pac with some rocks, and I'm selling these rocks. And I'm on the streets with my beats. You know where I be. It was just that same basic shit, man. Like now, DMX was always kind of on that shit too. But DMX was really good to me too. But for some reason, I just didn't classify DMX as rap. DMX was just DMX. You know what I mean? He didn't make anything bad either. Like everything DMX did was great to me. But the thing is, like, DMX is like, who did I say? DMX is like is rap is like Ryan Gosling to me of acting. Like they were so good to me that I don't even classify them as a rapper. I don't even classify DMX as a rapper. Like I don't even think of Ryan Gosling as an actor. He just is, right? Like it's that thing. DMX with that, he never did anything bad. Now I never cared for Tupac. The only song I like, but the only bar I ever heard Tupac say that I liked is Dying to Live. Because I was trying to explain to my girl the play on words. So if anybody ever heard the song with it was made after they both died. It was a song with Tupac and Biggie. And the name of the song, I think it's called like Dying to Live. Because the chorus it goes, I was trying to explain to my girl the play on words in English, like why this is a catchy, hook. Because on the chorus, the woman sings, "Why am I dying to live when I'm just living to die?" Right? And I was trying to explain it to my girl, like in English, like what that, the play on words, like, why am I dying? Because she can't understand like what that means. Like, why am I dying to live when I'm just living to die? Kind of thing. Like, anyway, that's the only song that I've heard with Tupac that I liked what he was like, how he was saying it. Because at the end he goes, he's like something like he screamed "Thug Life" and "Burger the Clip" and started running from the police or something like that. That was the only line I ever liked by Tupac. I like Biggie. From the few songs I've listened to Biggie, I've always liked how he rapped. But for me, between Biggie and Eminem, those were the only two rappers that when I heard like they actually were saying something, or it was like a catchy hook. It was a catchy. So they had ability to like to really catch and like as a rapper. Because again, DMX, I just never classified DMX as a rapper. Even though I think he was a great rapper, I just don't think of him as I think of Eminem as a rapper. I think of Jay-Z as a rapper. I think of these guys as rappers. DMX, in my opinion, was just so great. He just went above that to me, and I don't even classify him in that working class of rapper. Right? Because Jay-Z had some serious bars, but he dumbed it down a lot. And then that's how he got famous. Because before Jay-Z was like famous, he had some serious, like that motherfucker was on like next level shit. But yeah, Eminem was the first one that I could listen to, and it actually would his songs. I remember when I finally got his first mainstream album, because the album before that was garbage, but the one that has "My Name Is" on it, like even though "My Name Is" isn't like a significantly great rap song, like the songs that he had, they would always go somewhere, right? They would always, and it wasn't just about being on the. I get it, motherfucker. You're on the block with your Glock and you got rocks, and you listen to Pac. I get it, fucking Mob Deep. I get it. You're on your block with your Glock and you got rocks to sell to cops. I get it. I've heard a million times. You're old. It is. You fucking soul. Your soul's like. It's the same shit. I know what you're saying. I'm on the block with my Glock. I'm running from the cops, but you know I got Pac in my pocket. Yeah, I got a girl, she's real pretty, and I got a chain. Like, motherfucker, grow the fuck up. I don't want to hear about your chain. I can Google chain. I can look at all the chains I want to on the internet. All right. I got a chain and it's real shiny. This is dumb shit, man. Like, do you like Nas? No. 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 I liked One Mic. I liked One Mic was the only song I liked by him. Even when he tried to diss Jay-Z, that shit was garbage. And I agree with Jay-Z. Like, the other was Illmatic. That's a one hot album every 10-year average. I agree with Jay-Z. What, you trying to kick knowledge? Like, I just don't get Nas. I agree with Jay-Z. It's just whack. Like, it just doesn't hit. Like, for me, Nas didn't have that punchline with a punch, right? Like, Nicki Minaj she had punchlines with a punch when she first came out. Eminem had punchlines with a punch. DMX, he really didn't punch his punchlines, but it was just his demeanor that was what made it all. On top of that, he had really good lyrics. But yeah, like Ice Cube, no. None of those old guys. None of that shit. I don't care. None of it. I just didn't care for any of it. None of it. None of it had a punchline with a punch. It was just like, I rhyme cat with hat again. Did you like that? You know how I be. You know how I be. I'm smoking. You know how I be. I got a gat. You know how I be. I'm real. Yeah. You know how I be. I got a chain. You know how I be. I got a girl. Yeah. I'm cool. You know how I be. That's literally 95% of rap from the 90s right there. Just summed up. It's Souls like. You know how I be. Let me make sure my thing's still working, because I keep getting messages saying that I got an error or it's like poor quality, but it looks good. Yeah, I don't know. It still sounds fine. Tupac's two first albums were really political. What's this? Oh. Tupac's first two albums were really political and poignant. I'll say it right. It was after prison and hooking up with Suge Knight that he adopted that super thug persona. Okay. But maybe maybe I'm just ignorant, because again, I didn't like any music from that time period. So maybe I just, threw it away, like Ubisoft and Far Cry. Like people love Far Cry. Maybe maybe I'm missing out on a gem because Ubisoft has just burned me so many other times before that I've just thrown away everything that has to do with Ubisoft. 80 Nas had Jay-Z call the radio station sounding defeated after Ether dropped. Jay-Z admired Nas's appeal. Ether, I like the beat. I don't. I just didn't get it. I just don't get Nas. He says about how Eminem beat him on his own fucking song and all that. Like, I mean, I like the beat, like, fuck Jay-Z. But in my opinion, like, when Eminem rapped on Ether, that was hot. He goes, like, no gangster, you ain't either you, but I know that I spit ether, hot shit across the belly, told you I'm not R. Kelly. Was it like, pass me the ass while I put my ashes out on his ass for the last time, man. Like, Eminem actually, like, he had a flow to the Ether song that made me like the beat of Ether even more. But Nas just doesn't hit with me. Like, I need like I need a poetic flow. Like, Nas just doesn't have a poetic flow. Like, I don't, it's no, like, I'm not trying to bash him or anything like that. I'm sure, like, again, he has a big name. He must have did something right. I just don't get Nas. I just don't get him, man. Like I said, I like One Mic, the video and the song. I cared in the beat. I liked One Mic. I didn't like that. I know I can be what I want to be. I didn't like that. My girl likes that song. I don't like it. I just like, he's like, to me, it's like he just doesn't. It's like to me, Nas sounds like how they try to say like white people don't have rhythm. Like he sounds like like how that okay. And no, because okay, I'll say this. He sounds like to me, Nas sounds like how black people try to say white people don't have rhythm, and he's trying to rap. Like he just, it sounds like he doesn't know where the beat is. To me, like it's just not like like it just. Or maybe I'm listening to it wrong. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not listening right. I'll admit that. But like he's just not like there, right? Like, because I got a good friend of mine from childhood. He always loved Nas. I just don't care for his rap. I'm sure he's a great dude, you know, all that shit like that. I don't know anything about him, but I'm sure he's a great dude. I just don't get it. I mean, look at me. I'm a fucking nobody. I'm not under some delusion that I'm, you know, all that shit like that, but I just don't care about it. I just don't get it. Oh yeah, Infinite was garbage. No, Javi, now I agree with you on it. No, well, okay, so that makes sense. And he sounded like Nas on his. Okay, I thought Infinite was complete garbage. So maybe it's just my taste of of that type of rap, because I thought Infinite was just complete trash. I had that album and it was just terrible. Like I just didn't like it. But I didn't like any music from I didn't like much music from pretty much the 80s. I would say pretty much the 80s on. Because the 80s, from what I remember, was pretty much the end of like that Temptations, you know, that kind of group, that old school, that more kind of old schoolish kind of because I love music from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, from rock. I love rockabilly to fucking Temptations. That was pretty much like the biggest shit. I never liked a lot of country, but I like rockabilly shit. Just had that kind of like some personality to it to me, like. But pretty much the 80s, from what I remember, that was pretty much the end of that certain, you know, like Otis Redding's, not Otis Redding's, who I'm thinking of. Well, Otis Redding too. I can't remember the names now. I'm drawing a fucking blank. But like all, because I got a lot of music from the 70s and 80s in my from the 60s, anywhere between the 20s to pretty much the 80s, and then pretty much the only music I have between from the 80s to 2000 and let's say 5 would be Michael Jackson. For the most part, it's gonna be majority Michael Jackson. That's the only music I can really stand that was made in that period. But before that was, for me, it was strictly, it was not strictly, it was like, you know, those singing groups, or I'm thinking, I got this song stuck in my head right now. Dream, like it was this white dude. It was his band. I can't think of the band name. Let me see if I can find it. I like that song. Let me see if I can find it. It's Dream Lover. It goes, well, I want, yeah, a girl to call my own. I want a dream lover so I don't have to dream alone. Not Mariah Carey. Bobby Darwin. That's it. Not Mariah Carey. I can't play it. It's gonna be copyrighted. Yeah. But like all that shit, like the old, like I say, anywhere from well, really music even older than that, because I like old classical shit too. I can't think of any by name right now, but like I like music, like I said, up until about like the 80s. That's where unless it's Michael Jackson, I got a hard line for a lot. Prince, I like some of Prince shit. Like, you know, everybody likes the whole Purple Rain movie. Everybody, like, you gotta like Darling Nikki. Prince has a lot of songs that weren't mainstream too that were really good, by the way. I still can't find them. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan was like, if I remember, Bob Dylan's like the 80s, 70s, 80s, if I remember correctly. But yeah, from the 80s to 2000, I just didn't care for any of that. Not very much of it at all. Oh, you and me. Penny and the Quarters. I like Penny and the Quarters. In it. Fuck. What was that song? Hang on. Oh, Bad Girl. Lee Moses. Lee Moses. Bad Girl. That was a great song. Part 1 and Part 2. Let me see if I can find that and play that. That might not be copyrighted. Well, there's some Ian Rhymes. He put it up here. So yeah. This is like this might not be copyrighted because a lot of motherfuckers putting this up on their YouTube channel. Let's play this.
This is a song about a bad girl. Something that happened to me a long time ago.
Can you guys hear that?
Everybody was telling me how the little girl was running around. I had a head of my own. And I just wouldn't listen to nobody. My father, he told me, my mother sat down and cried. Said, son, this woman will break your heart. And then she'll put you down. That's what I told mama these words. Lord have mercy.
I think because I found that song from this movie. This movie, the trailer. It was a movie about hookers, and I really enjoyed this movie back. And I don't know if it aged that well for me now, but I really enjoyed this movie. This movie was about hookers in France, and they played that song on this trailer. And I fell in love with the song, so I had to watch the movie because I've always been interested in prostitutes. I always thought prostitutes were I always thought just the brutality of prostitutes and just what they do is and how men value that more than women do. But yeah, this movie's called House. It's in French, so you got to read the subtitles. But I thought it was really good. So that's gonna be my homework for anybody who wants some homework. Watch House of Pleasures. I don't know how well it's aged again because I watched this years ago, so I don't know if it aged well. But I remember really enjoying it. But that song is played in the trailer. There it is. Yeah. Because this young girl comes to work at a brothel, and she's like 15 or something like that. This is the other song I like. I can't remember what his name is. Don't eat this way. If I could find it. Here it is. This dude, Lee Fields. This is a great song. I don't know if it's gonna be. Fuck it. Let's try because I'm gonna get off here anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and just play it. And if I get copyrighted, then fuck it. Because I'm gonna get off here anyway. I think it's a great song too.
I felt the flames of desire. Seemed like I've known you for years. Oh yeah. But your heart grew colder to the fire. Left me holding back my tears. I don't expect you to understand how these memories haunt my mind. Now I walk alone late at night, and I can't stop from crying. Oh,
I'm gonna pause it because I got a message saying, warning, we detected a video of your stream belonging to someone else. So I don't know if it paused my live stream. It looks like it's still up, but yo, I do that just to advertise a song for free. I think it's a great song. I wasn't trying to steal nothing from you. But yeah, a lot of random songs, man. But yeah, I just that 90s time period, that fucking like 80s to 90s, in my opinion, that time just felt like everybody was just confused and didn't know what to do. So they just tried to, I mean, it just became Call of Duty back then. Everybody just made first person shooters and, you know what I mean, because nobody knew what to do next. Like, so it was hard to find something that really stood out to me in those years. So I prefer like older music or like more newer stuff, or people who make newer stuff that's influenced. Like, for example, I was really into Regina Spektor years ago too, but her songs are not for there was one that had really, I'm trying to think what the name of it was, because she has so many of them, but most of her performances are live. So this one was good for the lyrics, and if you like classical piano. But she has so many, either her lyrics are good, the topic is good, or like the pattern on the piano is good. It's not like deep classical, it's like basic classical shit. It's like very basic classical shit. But so I think she trained as a pianist when she was a kid, but she gave up because she just didn't like to do it, or it was too hard or something. So she just became her own music artist. But she has another one called Machine that's that I like it. But she has so many, so you really just have to just click and just try one, because they're all completely different. Like she's not like one who just makes like all the same sounding songs. Like they all just like all of her songs. Listen to them live. If you play piano too, by the way, you have to play. I think you have to play piano to really hear the difference in the style and how she's attacking it. Like this one was a favorite one because of how she plays it. This one was my favorite because I could never figure out how she played. She plays a song with one hand, and I could never figure out how she plays this song. I could never figure it out. A lesson in how fleeting preservation is. And it's like how she likes. She really was a special. Regina Spektor is really a special one. She's really a special woman with this, for sure. And she has my vote. But yeah, a lesson in how fleeting preservation is. This should be, well, it's like how she even attacked. I'll play this because this only has 1,000 views, so this isn't going to be copyrighted. But this is like it. See, musical artists like her are really special to me because she definitely has like her own way of just approaching shit that I haven't heard in anybody else. I'll play it. Let's see if you can hear it. It's kind of hard to hear it. And watch her range. Wait, it's gonna come soon. Yeah, she's definitely a special one to me for sure. But you gotta listen to like she's just like all like every song is like a totally different theme, right? Like you gotta play. I think you might have to play piano to hear it, maybe. But yeah. 80s music isn't good overall. Well, I disagree with. Oh yeah, well 80s. Here's the thing. Like I'm not a big fan of Stevie Wonder. I'll admit I never listened to much Marvin Gaye. Um, I don't even know what Patrice Rushen is. Maybe I'm showing my age or in a good way or bad way. But like I just didn't get 80s. I think maybe I was just so caught up by Michael Jackson that I just couldn't even bear to listen to anything else that wasn't Michael Jackson. Maybe that was what happened. But I just don't get anything from the 80s or 90s like at all. Yeah. It's just me, I guess. But yeah, so I'm getting out of here. I'm out of here. I've been on for almost 3 hours. It's going on 10. So I'll let y'all go, man. Luckily, so it looks like whoever I think I can't remember who it was, but whoever gave me the recommendations to change these settings, thank you, because it clearly has worked. This whole live stream worked great. So thank you who gave me the recommendations for this. I can't remember your name because I'm terrible with names. But thank you, and I hope y'all have a good night, evening, day, wherever you are. Thanks everybody for the donations, like, subscribes, and I'll catch y'all later, man. Peace out.